Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to GameFace, episode 470 on Sifted Games at Sifted.net. I'm Shane Satterfield, the founder of Sifted, and I am here to deliver an awesome podcast for you guys around video games. It is a great week to be a podcaster around games, and alongside me to do all of that, of course, is the one, the only, the incomparable, Matt Keil. What's up, Matt? How are you?
You're lucky there's only one.
I am lucky.
Yeah.
There can only be one Matt Keil.
Yeah, I cut all their heads off years ago.
all your rivals.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to GameFace, people. We have a great show for you guys today.
Just to double check, should both audio level things be bouncing over there?
No, just one.
Just one? Okay. Just checking.
Yeah. So last week, we had horrible audio throughout the entirety of GameFace. This board that we use for our audio, we also use for Pactor Factor. And I had gone and shot, and a bunch of stuff had gotten messed up in transit. And so our audio is just horrible. I literally spent 4 hours last Tuesday after I had worked all day to fix the audio in the show. So since it's just Matt and I here, it's kind of hard for us to monitor the audio. So for future reference, if you're ever watching the show and you hear the audio going pop, pop, pop when Matt and I talk, just put something in the chat and let us know because we can fix it. Fixing it mid-show saves me tons of time. So any amount of time that I can save having to go back and do that would be awesome.
And
so
if we don't see it, just keep saying it.
Say it again until
and
one of
over
us
and over
say,
until one of us notices.
Yeah. I had a nightmare night last Tuesday.
So
but
I try to keep an eye on it, but I don't see everything.
Well, then what made it worse is I then have to cut the show down for GameFace TLDR. So I had to go through all the audio again for TLDR. So anyway, just a little hint there. But welcome to GameFace. This is the flagship show of Sifted at Sifted.net.
Ashes in the Hourglass, I didn't score anything with Procopia because it's my first alternate.
Yeah, I thought it was on his team too, actually.
No, I picked it because I already know that's coming out, right?
Holy moly.
Now I've got my fingers crossed that Blood of Dawnwalker or Orbitals doesn't come
delayed.
out this year. Those are the only two that might drop out.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I thought that too. I thought Pokemon Procopia was on Matt's team. As it turns out, it's an alternate. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that all your games come out because, wow, Pokemon Procopia, the highest scoring Pokemon game ever.
Well, it's down to 88 now.
Still.
It's
Yeah, I
still
think it's still
high.
the highest, though.
Is it?
Yeah, because Pokemon games don't
Has there
score
been a
that
Pokemon
high.
game in like the 90s?
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, that is not in our show this week. It'll be in next week's show. However, in this week's show, we got a plenty. We're going to review Resident Evil Requiem. Right now, it may be the highest reviewed Resident Evil game ever.
It is the highest user-reviewed game ever.
Yeah. We're going to review it
period.
right here on GameFace. It's going to be the first topic in today's show.
I was hoping it would be a little higher.
Yeah, because that is on
that
Matt's
is
team.
on my team.
It's still really good,
88's really good,
Yeah.
but like I wish the audience score was...
Yeah.
Because that's like a 94 or something.
Wow. That's surprising to me. But anyway, we're going to review that first in the show today. Then we're going to talk about another Pokemon game that was just announced, Pokemon Winds and Waves, the brand new mainline Pokemon game, Gen 10. They unveiled that this week. We're going to talk about Bungie's Marathon. There was a big open beta for that this weekend that I played a bunch. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about...
Big is a strong word.
It was big.
The player drop-off was
It
prodigious.
was, yeah. But I think they
A lot of people were interested to begin with, but wow.
I think at one point they had 350,000 concurrents or something. So they got people there.
Not on Steam.
I think it was. That was their peak.
I didn't see that.
That's what was reported anyway.
The peak I saw was like 180,000 or something.
The reported peak, and we curated it yesterday, was 340 or 350, something like that. But you're right, the drop-off on that
Maybe
was
they're counting
extreme.
PlayStation as well.
That could be.
Because Sony would have the numbers for that.
Yeah.
They're combining them maybe.
That could be. I played it. We're going to talk about it. Was it worth the drop-off? We'll see. We're also going to get to Sony bailing on PC games, which I was like, what? Like, the whole world's going crazy right now, people. It really is.
Sony's making a lot of choices right now.
It sure is. From the catbird seat, which is interesting, the decisions it's making, knowing that it's the market leader, and it probably is going to continue to be the market leader into perpetuity.
Yeah. But they're going to keep sticking those sticks in their bike wheels spokes as long as they can until they fall off the bike, I guess.
Probably so. Couple things before we get going. Let me bring up the housekeeping, upper third there. Tomorrow, or actually on Thursday, there is a Capcom Spotlight, which is Capcom's version of the Nintendo Direct. That is at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. It looks like because Resident Evil's already released, it's like, what are you going to show? So I think they're going to focus on Pragmata, Monster Hunter Story 3, which we're covering today. We covered Pragmata like a month ago or something like that. So that's a big deal. And then this morning, there was a big Nintendo Indies event that happened. So if you go to SIFTD today, the entire website is just plastered in indie games. Which, if you're into that kind of stuff, today's a good day for you. But Nintendo had like a 30 or 40-minute presentation today. It was just wall-to-wall indie games. So one thing's for sure, the Switch is going to have no shortage of indie games. Like, everybody's on board. That's a great platform for indie games and indie releases. So if you own a Switch 2 and you like indie games, you should be in a good spot there. So
certainly seems to be doing better at like covering the field on that than PlayStation is right now.
Yeah, for sure. And that's pretty much it. It's kind of a low event week this week as far as events are concerned. Never a low event week when we have GameFace, though. Let's check out you guys and see what y'all are up to. We don't have a lot of time to... what happened here? We lost our connection with our chat for some reason. And my guess is a lot of you guys and girls have been playing Resident Evil Requiem. And for me, that's always the best discussions here on GameFace, when we have you folks involved too, and hopefully we can do that. And we got you guys.
Erebus Jones says the server slam on Steam, the high was 143,621. So they must be combining the platforms.
Gotcha.
About the same on both would make sense.
Yeah, because it is a PlayStation exclusive console-wise. Rogerty, thank you for those bits, those pulsing heart bits. That's awesome. Thank you. Silk Snake, watch streak reached. 5-stream streak. Thank you, Silk Snake. Hope you're doing good. Vincent says, go play Mini Shoot Adventures. It's on everything now, and it's on Game Pass. Okay, a recommendation off the top rope from Vincent there. Resident Evil Requiem also sold out of physical copies everywhere. Yeah, interesting.
Because they don't make many more.
Yeah, they probably only made like 100,000 or something like that.
Yeah, you're getting into the realm where you probably want to buy physical copies of stuff just for future.
Because they're making so few.
Yeah, buy it, leave it sealed, and buy it digitally, and then sell the physical copy for like 10
in 20 years,
in 6 years or something.
Yep. Mr. 60, thank you for Twitch Prime. Who else we got in here with the Twitch Prime? Rogerty, thanks again for the bits. Soundwizardry will fix it right up. That's the thing, Emperor Dread. If audio levels are too low, you can fix them. And Soundwizardry can do wonders with that type of stuff. When it's too high, there's really nothing you can do because the root file is already destroyed and corrupted. So the only thing you can do is try to, literally, I went by hand through the audio file for GameFace. In fact, every time Matt and I would say anything, I would go pop, pop. I have to go in there and edit the audio file for every pop. Again, it took me 4 hours of busting my butt to get it done. So again, if we ever sound like that in the show, just let us know so we can kind of make the adjustments. Silk Snake, I take pictures of our desks so it's the same for every show. Yeah, I usually do that. Like, I'll take a picture of the board before I go to make sure the settings are the same. The truth is, like, it was a mad dash to start the show last week, and I just did not double check the board, and that's my fault. Yep, Next Level just informed us that High Guard just got shut down. So did you say March 12th?
March 12th was the date I saw it shut. Not even a month.
It's insane, man.
Are we learning yet? Can we stop making these stupid games yet? Like, do we understand that this is like a recipe? I mean, it sounds like they made some very bad deals to keep themselves going anyway. Mm-hmm. But like, these live service games are not your ticket to lottery winning, dude.
If you're a small developer or mid-sized publisher, it could end you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the crazy thing is, like, you broke away from your giant publisher and all your, like, corporate bosses, and you decided to just make the game that they would have made you make anyway.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Like, and also, like, there's nothing in that game visually and presentationally that, like, grabs you when you see it. Like, it's just another Norse mythology remix.
Influenced,
and it's like, you could have done something that made it look different or made it grab you when you saw it.
It plays different, but you're right, it doesn't look different.
But you never find that out because you look at it and you're just like, this looks like everything else. This looks like every mobile game I see an ad for, basically.
Like, their debut trailer did include, like, the battering ram footage in it, but
no, don't put wings on your characters anymore. Like, just no more characters with, like, wings and big cape. Like, just stop it. No more Valkyries.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
Emperor Dread, thank you for Twitch Prime. That is frickin' awesome. Who else we got in here? Mitchell Ness, thank you for Twitch Prime. Please help us out with the Twitch Prime. We are at basically half of what we made per month, like at the middle. And actually, Q3 of last year, we are now at half of what we were making off Twitch Prime, like 6 months later. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why people have stopped doing it, but
we got less money. canceling Amazon Prime.
Maybe they are. I mean, are that many people canceling? I mean, I wouldn't be that surprised, honestly.
Wouldn't be.
Because
people are slowly figuring out that like the free shipping you get for a certain total is actually more common than like what you know, because Prime's main thing used to be you get free shipping on everything.
You could like order a thimble and they still give it to you for free.
Now you can get free shipping almost automatically for a lot of stuff because it's like the threshold is like $25 sometimes.
And then the shows on there that I watch, there's like one a year.
Yeah,
that I could get for like a month or two and like watch it and be done.
I'm basically out of streaming services now, except for like I think I still have Netflix and Apple.
I almost am too. I have Netflix right now. I'm about to drop it again. But
like
otherwise,
I will get Disney Plus back for X-Men this summer, and they'll probably catch up on like Wonder Man and things I missed. But there's no reason to have them all the time.
Yeah, there really isn't. And it's a pain in the butt to keep canceling and restarting. And sometimes I forget, and they run for 3 months when I wanted them for 1 month or whatever. But still, you're saving money ultimately. But yeah, I'm getting way more picky with my subscriptions these days. That's for sure. What else we got here? Glottis021, thank you for Twitch Prime. And I think that's all we got. Beginning of the month, usually. We have a lot more than that. But again, I don't know what it is. I don't know why we're not getting them like we used to. Immortan Joe, thank you for Twitch Prime. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Silk Snake, I'm tired of people laughing at High Guard. Just stop. People worked hard on it and are losing their jobs. I don't think people. Well, no, he's right. Some people are laughing.
Tons of people are laughing at it. No,
it's scummy.
People are poking fun at it all the time.
Yep. Aussie Brit 2000, thank you as well. Ashes in the Hourglass. The only streaming service I have is Criterion Channel. Haven't had Netflix for years.
I do still have Criterion Channel. That's true.
I hadn't had Netflix for years either, and I got it for Stranger Things, and then I started watching, like I had missed a couple seasons of Black Mirror, and then they put up a promo for this Discovery thing for dinosaurs. I'm a sucker. First of all, for this Discovery like nature documentaries, I'm a sucker for.
On what was this, Apple?
It's on Netflix.
Netflix, okay.
And then
because they're competing with Apple's, because Apple has Prehistoric Planet, which has done really well for them. It's the same thing.
It probably is, yeah. So anyway, they suckered me into another month so I can watch the dinosaur stuff.
If you haven't seen Prehistoric Planet, you should watch that.
Real? I will, definitely. I love that stuff. Retro Modern Gamer says, does High Guard shutting down tarnish Jeff Keighley putting his neck out on the line promoting the game? No, I don't think it does. I think it maybe will make publishers think twice about working with Jeff.
I don't think.
And asking about placement and how their stuff's going to be presented.
I think everyone's going to want to know where they are in the show from now on if they don't think that they should be in the One More Thing placement. But again, I think he also will never do that to something that isn't from a major publisher again. Like I think lessons have been learned, but the damage is irreversible.
Yeah, it really is. Well, we're about to kick off GameFace 470, but before we do that, we want to remind you that we are sponsored pretty much 100% at patreon.com/SIFTD. That's SIFTD. For just $5 a month, you get all our content early, GameFace, Pactor Factor, all the stuff that we do. You get at least 3 days early. Pactor Factor, you get a week early. But here's the thing. If you don't have any money, you can still help us out for free. If you are one of those people who still subscribes to Amazon Prime, you give us a free $2.50 every stinking month. You do have to re-up it every month, and that does suck. I hear you. But it's a free $2.50. And not only that, if you do that, you also get Pactor Factor on the same day and time as our patrons at our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/SiftedGames. So you're helping us, we're helping you. It's a symbiotic relationship. It would be great if you could help us out with that. And if you don't have Amazon Prime and you don't have money, I totally get it. You can still just like the show, comment on the show, share the show on social media, review the show on podcast services that you're listening to the show on. All that stuff makes a difference. I also want to thank the people on Spotify, because I did put out a call. I said, hey, people on Spotify, can you please comment and like the show? And they have. They have added more comments to our episodes, and they've liked the show. Thank you. I see it. I don't know who you are that's doing it, but just know if you're driving down the road listening to me right now, I know what you're doing, and I appreciate it. So please keep it up. It really makes a difference for us. So anyway, that's it for all the pleasantries. There's just really one thing left to do, and that's kick off this awesome episode of GameFace. But before that, here's a word from our sponsor, the one and the only, the delicious LS Cream. It's LS Cream, the fine cream liqueur crafted by fellow gamer and sifter Stevens Charles. Inspired by the Haitian drink crémasse, LS Cream delivers an award-winning experience with every single pour. One sip and you'll see why. It's a party favorite. The silky blend of fresh cream and premium neutral grain spirits mixes great with everything. I dare you to put a shot in your coffee. I've been drinking it for years and still, I find new combinations that taste incredible.
LS Cream is the kind of drink that keeps surprising you, thanks to its notes of vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, and coconut. Take it to any gathering and watch it steal the spotlight. We've never seen anyone resist. Ready to join the fan club? Head to creamls.com/sifted for recipes, retailers, and online orders. That's creamls.com/sifted.
Rogerty just said it in our chat. He just said, I am starting to become an LS Cream fan, which means that all he did was he got a bottle of it. Because I guarantee you, once you do that, you're going to say the same stinking thing. The other thing about it is that St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and Bailey's Irish Cream is a very popular liqueur around that time of year. And I'm just telling you, LS Cream is better than Bailey's. So if you're ready...
I would agree with that.
Seriously. So if you're ready to celebrate St. Patrick's Day this year and you want to get yourself something that works, get yourself a bottle of LS Cream. Go to creamls.com/sifted. There's a bottle locator there. There's also a store locator so you can find it locally. Also, they told me to ask you guys that if you have a favorite liquor store that you go to and you cannot find LS Cream there, to literally contact Stephen Charles directly on social media and tell him, and he will go and contact that liquor store and get LS Cream in your liquor store. I'm not making this up. He literally just contacted me about this yesterday. So if you can't find it locally at your local liquor store, he said, first of all, tell them to get it. And if they don't help you out, contact Stephen Charles at LS Cream on any of their social channels, and they will do it for you. Again, we are so lucky to be sponsored by great companies that are run by great people, and LS Cream is just another one of them. So go to creamls.com/sifted. All right, people. Now, it's time for our review of Resident Evil Requiem. Reviews got out. Unfortunately, the embargo did not work out last week. It was very hard for me to sit here and not talk about Resident Evil Requiem because the embargo was like the next day. But I couldn't talk about it. But here I am now, and I can. First things first, I did finish the game. Matt, how far along are you inside Resident Evil Requiem?
I think like 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
I didn't have a lot of time to play it this weekend.
That's good, though, because if you don't know
Enough
already...
to have played both of the characters and see how they work.
Right. If you're not aware already, and you probably are, but maybe you aren't, Resident Evil Requiem actually features 2 protagonists. There's Leon, who we all love and know. He's the resident action-based butt kicker in Resident Evil.
By far the most popular protagonist in the series history, according to that little, voting...
It's not even close.
Thing
People love the Leon.
Everyone loves the Leon.
Yep. And then the other character you play as is FBI agent Grace Ashcroft, whose mother is a part of Resident Evil lore. And Vaguely. Not for long.
Playable character in the Outbreak games,
right.
If anyone remembers those, the PS2 multiplayer games. And
yep.
I think she's mentioned in some notes in 7 or something. Because she was an investigative reporter, looking into stuff,
right?
And so and all of a sudden, I guess she had a kid at some
And
point.
eventually, you find out too, and I don't think you've got to that point of the game yet. You do find out that her mom was using her reporting skills in different ways that I won't spoil here, but that's a part of the plot. Eventually, is that the fact that she was a reporter. But anyway, you play as these 2 different characters, and they're entirely different in how they play. So Leon is Leon. He has a bunch of changes we'll talk about when we start talking about the gameplay as far as his abilities and things like that. But then Grace is sort of... Capcom has described her as the throwback to classic survival horror, but really, she's kind of like the stealth character in the game. She does get guns.
She's the traditional Resident Evil character.
Yeah.
Her gameplay is basically Resident Evil 1 through 3, and Leon is 4 and... I guess 6, but let's not bring that into anything.
Well, with the exception of the fact that she never does get the full arsenal. She only ever gets 2 pistols in this game.
But she
still is more stealth.
She's the one running around the zombies instead of killing them because you don't have enough ammo. She's the one slotting arcane things into arcane slots to open a door.
She does most of the puzzling stuff.
She does a couple times. She does mention how do people get in here normally?
Yeah,
it's just that's a fine question, but we're not going to actually address that.
Well, actually, we are going to address some of this stuff in the plot in this game. That's what we're going to first start discussing is the plot. So basically, what happens is dead bodies have started appearing in Raccoon City, and they have this weird black bruising all over them.
Well, they're not in Raccoon City. They're just people who survived the Raccoon City.
They're actually in the Midwest.
Nuking.
Yeah. They're in the Midwest, and there is this hotel that they found a dead body at. As luck would have it, Grace's mother was murdered in that hotel 8 years earlier. Her boss at the FBI knows this and sends Grace there to investigate these bodies, knowing that her mother was killed in the hotel.
It sends her alone. Like, no partner. The police don't escort her in, even though the place looks like this.
Yeah.
And there's a crazy person in there.
And you can see that the tapes there, the police have been in there.
Yeah, they clearly have been in there. And there's like, oh, sure, let's send the lone FBI agent in there who clearly is not equipped to do that. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but it's just, I mean...
This is going to be a recurring theme here, the doesn't make any sense thing. Because the plot in this game is like Swiss frickin' cheese.
Here's your Resident Evil 4 original version reference.
I took the time to stop and watch them below for the B-roll, just for people who would know.
I mean, to me, that's just Resident Evil never made sense, and horror generally doesn't make sense in terms of what people do and why they do it. Why do the wire cutters go away once you use them once? Why do the keys... I was using that pass card. Why did imagine if when we worked at Tech TV our pass cards disappeared every time we opened a door? Like what?
Well, you know why the game does it, because you don't need them
it for
anymore.
That one door.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe you could make it so the pass card doesn't take up the same amount of space as like a typewriter.
That stuff doesn't bother me as much as the plot holes, because
plot holes don't bother me really at all because it's Resident Evil.
I still have expectations that someday it could improve.
It will not. It's been 9 games, Shane. It's over.
Well,
this is what they do.
I think the plot in Village and Biohazard were better than the plot in this.
I don't know if I fully agree. I think it works. I think they work better. Or they don't let you think about it.
Here's the biggest plot hole of them all.
They don't let you think about it as much because 7 and 8 are self-contained in their own little crazy world, and this one, like 2, and to some degree 5, have contact with the quote-unquote real world.
Yeah, and that kind of ruins this game. And
like you remember, I mean, when you contrast these things with like normal people in a normal city or like things like that, you kind of wind up accidentally realizing how crazy all the main characters in this series must be compared to like normal life. Which is also just sort of how horror works in general. But normally, like a good horror story knows to isolate everyone from normal stuff.
Well, they don't do that here. It's set in like a normal society, and that does cause problems. But here's one of the biggest plot holes in the entire frickin' game. So early on, they do this flashback that shows kind of what happened. Well, it does show what happened to Grace's mom. In this scene, she watches her mom hide this book behind this painting.
Well, it's just a packet. It's just like... It doesn't even have anything particularly valuable.
Well, she asked her, "What is it?" She's like, don't forget about this. Like, you'll see."
Yeah, remember I put that there.
Yeah, and then she doesn't remember she puts it there until she goes back 8 years later by herself, and all she's like, "Oh yeah, that's right, Mom. Put this there." It's like, what the F?
Well, trauma can do that.
Oh my God, dude, I've had trauma, man. You don't forget crap like that. Like, this plot is just littered with stupid plot holes and things that make no sense whatsoever. I didn't read a lot of reviews. It didn't seem like a lot of the reviews even talked about the plot, the ones that I did kind of skim to curate on SIFTD. I don't know how. Because to me, Village and Biohazard, the plots in those are way better than this. And part of it is that they don't stick their necks out because they're not in like normal society. So there's some suspension of disbelief. But the problem is like, there's another scene later on where the bad guy in this is literally carrying Grace down the sidewalk in public with tons of people walking around. He shoots them with like the virus or whatever, but still nobody calls the police. In the beginning, the cops are there.
Clearly the police wouldn't help very much.
Well, in the beginning, the cops and the authorities are there, and then they disappear.
I mean, yeah, it's horror, contrivance, and stupid shit.
I mean, I'm a horror fan, and I know most stories and horror stuff suck, but this is a whole other level, man.
I just don't agree. I think this is about on par for Resident Evil. Like, everyone's an idiot, and you have to be in order to like make the thing move forward. Like, does it make sense? No, but it's not reality. Like, you just kind of got to go with it.
But it's just, that's irrelevant, though. It's like either there's plot holes or there aren't. It doesn't matter whether it's horror or it's a thriller or it's a rom-com.
Everything has a plot hole. Every story has plot holes.
I mean, maybe minor ones. This is just loaded with them over and over again.
Yeah, but so's 2.
But not this bad.
I don't really agree.
You've only played 5 hours of the game. I've played all of it.
But I've played all the other Resident Evils.
But then you can't know. But you can't know if this has as many. You can't. You have not played the whole game.
I don't care.
But that's the point then.
Yeah.
It's that you don't care.
Right.
It's not that it's the same or as everything else. It's not. It's worse.
It's Resident Evil. I expect plot holes. I expect it to
I
be
do too.
stupid.
Not ones like this, man. Like, these are just no-brainer, dumbass things. Like, it feels like they chop stuff out of the game, and we're like, well, there's no way we can go back and, like...
I mean, that's possible. It does feel like Leon and Grace are from different games, and not just in the sense that they play different.
I agree.
It feels like... My guess is that the original game that we were hearing leaks about that was like the open world Raccoon City thing was Leon's game, and they pasted in Grace's game to sort of give it, I don't know, to give it more of an old school survival horror feel, or to like cover up the fact that they didn't think what Leon's game was enough to really sustain a whole game, which I can see. I prefer Leon's gameplay because I like action more than sneaking around and doing the puzzle stuff and having underpowered guns, except for the one. Here, kid. Here's a gun bigger than you with one bullet. Go protect yourself. Like, that was a fun scene.
This scene right here, he's just walking down the sidewalk with him draped over his shoulder.
Okay, I don't find this super shocking. Like, I mean, the issue I have with this is that it's not New York; it's some Midwestern city,
and it would never be
in
that
New York.
big.
No one would give it. Like, most major cities, no one would give a shit. And one woman does say, "Hey, is she okay?" And then he shoots her with the virus. And
they do pay attention. My problem is, like, nobody calls the cops. The cops are gone after this scene. You never see the police again. You never see the FBI again. You never see the CIA again.
Leon was kind of a cop. He used to be.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, bottom line is
Leon is not very good at crossing the street either.
Yeah, he's not.
Like, his situational awareness is not. That's the funny thing, I think. And I mean, this is consistent with Leon from Resident Evil 2 onward. But I love that they still keep the thing where he walks around like a big badass and, like, oh, you can get hit by those cars. That's interesting. That didn't happen to me.
Yeah.
You walk around, he's like a big badass, and he stands up here, and then, like, he just gets grabbed. Or he just gets hit with something. Like, he has no plan. He just has learned to not react to anything. And he comes off looking kind of almost as dumb as Grace in that regard sometimes.
Well, he gets
but he looks
abducted
cool
by the
doing it.
bad guy.
Yeah.
The bad guy doesn't take any of his weapons off of him. He barely tapes him to a chair.
Well, that's classic supervillain. Like, you want the hero to escape, because then he's going to do the thing you want him to do, or he thinks he's got control. I mean, it's, I don't know. Like, I as soon as I saw Victor, what's his name? Victor Gideon?
Mm-hmm.
First, I looked him up to see if he was in any previous games. I didn't remember him.
Yeah.
No, turns out
he's not.
He's new.
He's new. Yeah.
And then I'm like, I already know I should not expect to understand why you're doing what you're doing, because A, you're a Resident Evil villain, but B, like, why is he 10 feet tall?
I don't know.
Like,
he was that way before.
Yeah.
He got mixed up with Umbrella.
Yeah.
He's been that way
since
since
like
he was
self-experimenting to do shit like that to himself.
Mm-hmm.
Is he 10 feet tall for the same reason like Lady Dimitrescu is gigantic? Like,
I don't know. They never explained it really.
Why are so many things gigantic in Resident Evil in the last like 3 games? Like, what is that?
Know.
Is that one of the new viruses? Like, I don't know. I don't know the lore anymore. I don't.
Well, the plot is that Gideon and there's another guy that he's working with who looks a whole lot like Wesker, but he's actually not Wesker. His name's like Zeno or some crap. But he has the same abilities as Wesker.
I mean, I'm surprised that is he like a clone, or
I think he is. Yeah.
Like, I mean, yes.
I just don't understand why they just don't call him Wesker. Like,
well, he's got his own identities, his own man.
Clones
Clones are like identical twins. They're not the same person.
Well, they're working together on this new sort of variant of the T virus. And here's another thing. In the early going, in this first area, in the hotel that she goes to, the zombies remember their prior lives. They're walking around doing their chores. The one zombie says gastrointestinal tract.
Right.
Like, the zombies are speaking in complete sentences.
Yeah, the surgeon is
at like a 10th grade level.
Into very detailed gallbladder surgery ideas.
So the zombies in this are kind of smart and are kind of human-like or whatever. However, after you leave that first area, that whole concept is gone. The zombies after that are not remembering their lives before. They're not like on a construction site, like hammering stuff and like.
I took that to be like. I took that to be like whatever the virus they're working on here, like directly with Gideon, like has more of a slower effect, or like
Maybe
it does that. Whereas like the zombies you run into out in the field are more like they're just the standard Resident Evil T virus,
I guess,
zombies or something like that.
Maybe, but it was weird. It's like it only happens.
You got that, and you got like the maid, like or whoever the janitor, like is like trying to clean everything. That's like she kills you by cleaning you to death.
Yeah,
basically. Like there's a lot of cool touches with that.
No,
but
yeah.
Like
But I mean, it's over after the first like hour of the game.
But by like Resident Evil 3, you had to stop trying to figure out which virus did what, like the T virus or the G virus or the one that did plant stuff, and then the one that wasn't plant stuff. Like, I mean, you remember that where they went through that whole phase where it's just like, oh, it's all gonna be vines,
right?
You know, you're like, why? How did I get from zombies to like mad Venus flytraps? Like, what's that?
And they're in this game too. The Venus flytraps are in this game.
At least they look good now.
Yeah, they do. Yep. So here's the thing, though. It's not really about that variant of the T virus. Both Gideon and Zeno are really concerned about this virus called the Elpis. And it was supposed to be, was it Spencer? Was the guy that started all the viruses that developed them for Umbrella?
The original Umbrella. I think that's his name.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be...
The old guy. Yeah.
It was supposed to be his final work, his master class virus or whatever. And so
real this time.
This time.
This is his final. This is what he was really doing.
Yeah. And they, for whatever reason, believe that Grace is this supernatural being, and it's going to take her to unlock the virus and figure out what the virus is and how to use it. And so they have been unable to figure out who Grace is all this time. They've been creating clones of her in secret and trying to raise these clones up to become that person that can unlock this new virus.
Which is why, I guess, Victor keeps calling her the chosen one.
Right, and that's why they think that she's the one who can unlock this new Elpis thing, and that they can take over the world using this new virus.
To a whole like, hey, Mom, what did you do?
Right. What were you doing, Mom? So, look, there's tons of plot holes in this. I think the setup for the game is okay.
Why was there a chainsaw in the hospital?
No, again. I mean, you can just, every
Multiple
scene
chainsaws,
you can pick apart. Yeah. And the other thing,
Renovation, I guess.
They make the chainsaw out to be a big part of it. It's not.
Yeah, I'm like, I figured the chainsaw was going to be like a bigger part of things than it was. And
you end up using it like 3 times the whole game. It's not as big an element.
I do love that it runs. It can do
spins
crazy
around
physics stuff. Like you knock one of the zombies that holds it down, and they get dragged around by it.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of cool stuff it's doing.
It is a really cool thing. I wish they used it more. Yeah. But they only use it a few times throughout the entire. Maybe that's the right way to look at it.
Probably, like you make it special. But I would love like a New Game Plus version where it's just like lots of chainsaws. New Game Plus. Like, everyone has a chain. I mean, that's a mod, probably. I'm sure people do that.
So Grace gets mixed up in all this, and basically Leon is just there to try to save Grace. He's like, she's been kidnapped. He goes after her, and it just starts this whole whirlwind.
Well, he's like investigating the same dead bodies, basically, and kind of stumbles across. I mean, but he literally sees, he's looking for Victor, and he literally sees him walk out onto the street with Grace.
With Grace. He's looking for Grace and Gideon.
What the?
And there they are. Right
I mean, he thinks it's pretty stupid, too.
Yeah, he does, to be fair. Yeah.
And he's driving his Porsche Cayenne, which you cannot point your gun at. I should know.
Really?
It will not allow you to aim the gun at the Porsche.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I tried, because I'm like, well, I know he's not going to crash. Because he's driving the product placement.
Yeah.
And like later when you get a chance, when you're out of the car, you cannot aim the gun.
I didn't try it to see that.
I intentionally tried to damage the Porsche because I'm like, are you gonna let me? Because A, product placement. B, Porsche is very touchy about doing stuff.
It doesn't surprise me.
Like that was one of the reasons they weren't in. Like there was a problem
in
with
a lot of
racing
games
because if there was damage, they didn't want their cars to be damaged
for a long time. It would not give up that. Yeah,
I believe that was the reason that Gran Turismo got them first, because Gran Turismo didn't have damage.
Maybe.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah. Now the design of this game, as we mentioned, you jump back and forth from playing Grace and Leon. In the early part of the game, it feels like it's Grace's game with Leon sprinkled in. But they take turns, they'll alternate, and sometimes they'll connect and be in the same scenes together. They'll be at the same location together. But generally how it works is like they take turns, and there'll be some scenes where they're together in the same scene and they interact with each other a little bit. In the early going, it really feels like it's Grace's game with just Leon here and there. The second half of the game, Leon takes over. And by the end of the game, I felt like it was pretty much split 50-50 between the two of them. I thought it was pretty even by the end. But they do go in spurts. Like at the beginning, Grace has like a 2 or 3 hour chunk where she is basically just going through a Resident Evil mansion, which is one thing I do think they've done a great job with in this game. Is this, like making stuff for fans. Like you want to go through a mansion, and like you said earlier, Matt, she's the one that handles putting all the crests into the slots and all that kind of stuff. And then after she works her way through this mansion, which is actually a hotel, once she does, then Leon shows up after she's already kind of finished the whole hotel, so to speak. And then later on, there's another place I'm not going to spoil. That's a mansion, basically, that you have to play through. So it does. This is the 30th anniversary of Resident Evil, and it does feel like this game does a pretty good job of kind of celebrating that. Like, and I don't want to spoil too much. The last act of the game, big time. They celebrate the 30th anniversary, and it's really cool how they handle it. So while there's tons of plot holes, the plot is good enough to kind of keep you going and keep you interested. Now, as far as like the gameplay is concerned, the entire game is linear, like 100%. Like you do this, then you have to go here and do this, and you have to do this. Later on in the game, there is one level. Now, Matt was talking about it earlier, about how there's one level that there's parts of this game. That
happened to me too, where I'm just like, can you just
get out of the way
over, just like a foot, just struggle with the light over there. Thank you.
Yeah. But anyway, there is one section of the game that looks like it was pulled from the open world version of this game. And it is kind of one of the more boring parts of the game. And so I do think Capcom made the right decision to kind of ditch that concept for Resident Evil. If that's as best as it can do, no thanks. But there is a hint, at least, of sort of an open world design in this for one section of the game. But for the most part, it's your typical Resident Evil. Go here, get this thing, go put it in the slot, open the door to a bunch of new areas. Oh, there's another slot you need to put something in. Where do I find that? You go find it, bring it back. It's just rinse and repeat. In between fighting zombies. And the other thing I would say, too, about this is that it's Resident Evil 3 on steroids, and that there's like 4 or 5 different Mr. X's in this. And in fact,
you're always being chased by something.
Yeah,
Grace.
You are. And the AI of that is, I think, tuned pretty well. And in fact, I would say the difficulty in this game is tuned pretty well in general.
Yeah, I would say they're the least annoying pursuers in the series.
They're not just constantly like a pain in the ass. Like they're not always on your ass. Like,
I mean, I guess Lady Dimitrescu wasn't annoying either.
Yeah,
I mean,
she was kind of
wasn't her main thing, but she did follow you a lot.
Yeah. So it is pretty much a linear game, other than one little section of it that's towards the last half of the game. Otherwise, it is pretty much linear in what you'd expect from a Resident Evil game. As far as the weapons are concerned, there's like 3 different versions of every weapon, and it has all the tropes. It has a handgun, shotgun, submachine gun, assault rifle, blah, blah, blah. And each one of those can be upgraded several times. And the upgrades in this are like Call of Duty. It's like you get a gun, and then you go to like the screen, and there's like 5 or 6 attachments you can snap onto each one of those. And
it's
then
like Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, and then each attachment you can raise up to 2 levels. And that's also paced very well throughout the course of the game. By the time I got to the end of the game, I was hitting the 3rd weapon of each of those types, and I was giving it its 2nd upgrade. So they do balance that stuff pretty well, and they do gatekeep with it as well. They don't give you the guns until they think you're ready to have them. But that's a big part of the game. And then another big part of the game that I was surprised by, Matt, is the crafting in this. Like, it's a way bigger deal, particularly for Grace, because of this right here. What perfect timing with the B-roll right there. So Grace, she only gets like 2 pistols throughout the course of the game, and she is. So you have to be more careful. You have to run a lot more and run away. You don't get a ton of ammo or whatever. But eventually, you start crafting, and you can craft these injectable things that you can literally one-hit kill zombies with. All you have to do is get behind them, like you're going to stealth kill them, and hit them with the injectable, and they explode into blood and jibs. And even the big, like, Mr. X enemies in this, you can kill with those. Now, they may take 2 or 3 of them to kill them, but you can kill them with them. And they're so cheap to craft. All you need is 1 green herb and some blood, which is the other weird part about this game. Like, a mechanic...
Well, you need scrap, too.
It's scrap, for some things.
Which you need it for the injector.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
it's
you
one
needed...
scrap and one...
I thought it was blood and green herb, no?
No, it's blood and scrap.
I thought you definitely needed a green herb. No,
not to do the hemo, the stealth kill. No,
but the bottom line,
one blood and 1 scrap, unless it upgrades to something stronger later.
It doesn't. But the bottom line,
I mean, it's strong enough.
You don't need anything stronger. The bottom line is it kind of breaks the game. All I know is I had like 10 of them at all times, and I could just walk up behind every zombie and kill them with 1 shot. And that made Grace's game easy a little bit. Leon's never really... His difficulty's pretty well tuned the whole way through. But once you get those injectables with Grace, like, a lot of the tension goes out of the game, I think.
I mean, I just mostly found Grace's part of the game annoying.
Yeah.
I did not mind being able to just
insta
burn
kill
my way through. Let me get to Leon again, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, her stuff is looks really cool. Like it's like the visuals are great, like moody and atmosphere, the lighting, and playing with the lights to freak the zombies out or not let them come in this room or whatever. Like that's really cool. I like a lot of that, but like I don't find it tense. I just find it annoying. Like it's just like, yeah, okay, you're afraid and you don't want to run. I mean, I get it. I probably wouldn't react particularly well in that situation either. But like, just get on with it. Like it's like there's a lot of times when I'm like that with all horror protagonists, both in in movies and in games. Is one of the reasons that horror doesn't really interest me very much. I much prefer the action style, like Resident Evil 4 style that Leon has. There's
the new Crimson Heads.
Yeah.
The only challenging part of this game, honestly.
Somebody has already done a mod that replaces all of those guys with Thomas the Tank Engine.
That's funny. It's really funny. So the other thing about this game is that you can choose to play in first or third person whenever you want. Now, I played Grace in first person and Leon in third person. What did you do, Matt?
I played Grace in third and Leon in third.
Both in third?
Resident Evil's a third person game to me, regardless of the last two installments. I was impressed though because I did try first person a little bit. I just no, like I'd rather have peripheral vision.
It helps. So you can cheat, look around corners and stuff. Yeah.
But like I was impressed that like the cutscenes even take it into account. Like when
it does,
like you will be, if there's a POV shot of the character of Grace, you will be in first person, like being dragged through the hotel by her mother and stuff. And if you do it in third person, you will see them both.
Yeah.
Like drag her, it's more of a third person cinema shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good attention to detail. I thought that was really good.
This is the section of the game I was talking about a couple minutes ago when I said
perfectly pristine Porsche through the nuclear war zone.
This is a section, though, this kind of open world.
Look how shiny the Porsche is, boys and girls.
Like, now, to be fair, when I came back
funny.
later, it was dusty. I don't know if that happens and accumulates over time. I don't know. This game is beautiful if you haven't figured it out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just a gorgeous freaking game.
How does Leon afford a Cayenne?
I don't know. Where's the money coming from? I don't know.
Because he doesn't seem to be backed by anything. It seems to just be him and Sherry sort of like...
Well, Sherry goes rogue. So Sherry Birkin is his, like...
It's like he's in the earpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it feels like they're just sort of working on their own. Like they're just sort of the only two sane
Like they went
people.
rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she does kind of...
He definitely doesn't work for the president anymore.
No. She mentions at one point that, like, the uppers who are her managers told her to get out of the whole thing. So...
I mean, to be fair, I don't really remember what his situation was in 6.
Yeah.
So...
I remember he tried to save the president at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, he was still fed at that point. He doesn't seem to be that anymore.
He's got a Porsche, so the money's coming from somewhere.
Maybe that was the president. Maybe gave that to him. Maybe Ashley gave it to him. I don't know.
Yeah. But as far as
maybe he's still friends with the president's daughter.
Maybe
sends him a car every couple of years.
Right. For like a Christmas card.
Christmas car.
Yeah. Let's talk about the gameplay. Now, we already kind of talked about the chainsaws, about how they were kind of a big thing before the game came out, but once you play it, they really kind of limit the use.
Don Grimm notes that he's probably rich from all the art treasures he stole in Resident Evil 4. That is probably what happened.
Good call there. Big Dave Lazar.
He was kind of rolling in money by the end of that game. That's true.
That's true. So the chainsaw isn't that big of a deal, but Leon's other stuff is a big deal. So he can counter if you tap L1 on the PlayStation controller when they attack. And it's different for every enemy, what he does. Like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the death scenes in Resident Evil.
Yeah.
How they just have these really awesome death scenes, and half the fun is like dying on purpose so that you can see the death scene.
There's a lot of different ways. Like, it took me a while to get the hang of that parry move.
Me too.
So I died to the chainsaw doctor like a few times.
Yeah.
And every one was different.
Yeah.
Like, it never repeat. I mean, I'm sure there's like only a limited number, but like I saw 4 or 5 different ones all in a row.
Some of the deaths in this are insane.
Yeah.
Like, remember the one, I can't remember which even Resident Evil it was, where the creature kills itself by going down into the grinder.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's kind of stuff like that. Like, I also died to the chainsaw guy the first time, and he cut Leon in half at his waist.
And his legs keep walking away.
And the dude takes his torso with him and starts eating the torso, and then the legs walk.
I don't think that's how that really works, but it is a nice visual.
I cut it out of the B-roll, man. I was like, they'll totally like blackball our episode on YouTube.
That'll probably get you a flag.
Yeah, definitely will. But this game has really awesome deaths in it. Like, just in general, the look and the graphics in this are just awesome. Like, definitely one of the best looking games on the market. Now, it does cheat a little bit because there's only one section that's kind of open-ish. So it's all like corridors and things like that. Who cares? This game looks incredible. Pretty much every element of it. But anyway, back to Leon. So he has this ability to parry and block enemy attacks, but he also has an axe.
Including rockets.
Right.
You can just about anything that's a physical object, you can parry.
It's really crazy. But he also has an axe. And the axe is probably one of the worst gameplay elements in this. It is just so awkward to use. And it takes forever to kill even a rank and file zombie with the axe.
It doesn't do the damage you'd think a hatchet would do.
Yeah, it also takes like 5 headshots to kill a rank and file zombie in this. Because what basically the gameplay in this is shoot the zombie, stagger him, run up, kick him, push him down or whatever, then run up to him while they're laying on the ground and put rounds in their head. That's pretty much the same thing you do over and over in this, except for Grace isn't strong enough to push down all the enemies. So sometimes they'll just take a couple steps back, but that's kind of the loop of it all.
Yeah, I mean, you get basically, with Grace, you're sort of, it's usually better to just run around and lure them places and keep them out of your way and kind of do what you need to do. Leon is sort of, we've all played Resident Evil 4. You shoot them in the knee, they kneel down, you hit the melee
roundhouse
kick or whatever, and then you use the axe to finish them off. Like the thing is, like, the axe is good for finishers. It's terrible for just straight up running up
trying
and
to
hitting
kill
them.
somebody.
Like normal melee with the axe, you're just wasting the durability of the axe.
It's almost comical how many times you have to attack someone with the axe to kill them. It's like literally like 25 times. So that was one part of the game that I didn't think worked out that well, but otherwise, as far as like if you've been playing Resident Evil for the last couple entries, you know the pattern. Like Matt said, shoot them in the knee, they go down, run up, roundhouse kick them, and then finish them off. And it's different depending on which character you play as. You can use his axe to finish off the zombies if you're playing as Leon. But with Grace, you pretty much just have to shoot him in the head a bunch of times. There's really no easy way to do it, unless you have the injectables.
Right. Which you usually should. Once it's unlocked for you, you usually should.
Pro tip: get the injectables.
Yeah, that's your focus. I mean, the handguns are emergencies for Grace. You really don't. And it's frustrating, like in the very beginning of her, where it's like, okay, all you have is a handgun
and 2 bullets.
2 bullets. The hallways are too narrow to get around.
Yeah.
So, although they do swing slow, so it usually is pretty possible to get around one of them.
This game needs stuff though. At this point, like it needs a juke. Like it's ridiculous that you get caught by zombies in this when you should never be getting caught by these zombies. Like you should be able to juke them. Like I can juke a human. Like I can definitely juke a freaking zombie. Yeah,
like I was having trouble with the we saw him in the clip a couple minutes ago. It's the one zombie in the hospital that holds the IV
blood bag
tower thing, and he just gets mad when he hears noise. He's very slow swinging that thing, so you can usually get around him, but it's like he's doing he's kind of like auto rotating to try to target. It's all very video gamey, and it's just like you can just give me a way around them.
Just give me a sidestep,
a skill-driven way to
something.
Dodge them.
Right. Yeah. Maybe if I have to time it, that's cool, but give me something. The other thing too is that like you should be able to kick whenever the hell you want. Like there's lots of moments where zombies are shambling up or down stairs.
He is not blind. He saw me several times. He's got bandages on his face, so I thought he'd be blind, but no, he can see you.
Oh. So anyway, I think I just lost my train of thought, actually. I can't remember what I was going to say. But generally, I think the combat in this is pretty good. It's not like a bunch of levels above what we're used to with this franchise. No. There's a couple tweaks that are effective.
But it is what you think it's going to be. I mean, it's more if you're a Resident Evil 4 fan, that's more here than it has been in the last couple games. Which is good for me.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like, it splits the difference, where I would say Ethan is probably midway between the two characters in terms of combat prowess.
Yeah, he gets better in the second game.
He's better at it in the second one. But like this is sort of like Leon's the one extreme and Grace is the other.
What I was getting at is that there's lots of moments where zombies are walking on the stairs and you can't do anything. Yeah. They should be so easy to just kick them and just watch them roll down the stairs.
Even Grace should be able to handle that.
Right.
It's like you're off balance already. Yeah. And they can't walk very straight.
To your point, there's lots of gamey stuff in this where you just have to suspend disbelief and just be like, it's Resident Evil.
Although to be fair, like I was impressed by how few video game obstacles there have been, in terms of like where where a character walks up across like, oh, there's 3 chairs in this hallway, I can't get around.
Right.
No, you can probably
It's a little smarter
in
than
that situation. I would definitely be able to climb over a chair. I'm just saying.
I'd jump right over that damn chair.
And they
Owens.
they respect you enough to destroy the hallway to let you not get through it. So
How about this mechanic where you go around and you stab the ground with a needle to absorb blood that you use for crafting? It's like, you're seeing, right there's the injector right there.
Yeah. I am seeing the...
And see, it's blood. Yeah, you're right. It's blood and scrap. Yeah.
I am seeing the audio thing turn full red sometimes when you talk.
Okay. I'll turn me down a little bit. So anyway, I think the gameplay in this is fine. It would be nice if there was some refinement or some tweaks from it, over the last couple games. And there are a couple, but they don't matter that much. In the end, it really does matter. What really matters is your guns and your firepower. And upgrading those guns and making sure that you're adding like all the extra punch and the reload speed and all that kind of stuff that you can affect. That to me really affects the combat more than anything else in the game. We already talked about the graphics. You've been watching the B-roll. It's one of the best looking games on the market. There's no doubt about that. It doesn't matter whether you're playing it in 1080p, 4K, 2K. This game looks sick. It really does. I do want to check out the Switch 2 version. Maybe I should try to get Capcom to send me a code for that. I'd like to see how that looks, or just watch out some footage on YouTube. But this game is absolutely gorgeous. One of the best looking games on the market. Best gore I've probably ever seen in a video game. And very creative, too, with the violence and the gore in this as well. And then let's talk about the audio, Matt. Generally, the audio in this is freaking killer. As far as like the lightning and thunder, the sound effects, the sounds of the zombies, the voice work. Grace, at first, is amazing. The voice actor.
Oh, yeah.
But over the course
her reaction
of the
in the flashback with her mother is some of the best voice acting I've heard in years.
The way she can make her breathing stutter and stuff like that, like, it is amazing. For the first hour, I was blown away by Grace. And then over the course of the game, you realize the voice actor is kind of a one-trick pony. Like, every time Grace goes to say...
the character is kind of a one-trick pony.
Every time Grace goes to say something, she stutters at the beginning. I didn't blah, blah, blah. She does that with every freaking line.
And that's the voice director to me. So remember, she's afraid of everything. It's like, but she should... You got to let the character develop at some point.
I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know what you're talking about. Over and over and over again. Like, and again, at the beginning, I was like, this girl's going to win an award.
And it's every time she meets a new character. And it's just like, just talk to the person.
Yeah.
Like I know it's weird. But like at a certain point, you can only fall down the bottomless pit for like so many hours before you stop screaming. Like,
her panic attacks are great, though, man.
Oh yeah, the actress is very, very good.
Yeah,
it's
you're
very,
right though.
very
It
good.
probably is the VO coach or the VO director.
It's the director is like kind of I think is not coaching her because the actor doesn't know where anything is in the game.
There's no context for it.
It's the voice director that has to like make sure. Okay, we're like halfway through the game. She should probably not be reacting as though she's never seen a monster
this or that,
before.
yeah.
She should have developed a little bit of confidence by now.
Yeah.
That's on the direction, I think.
And then also,
but if she is not nominated for voice acting at the Game Awards, they are doing it wrong.
Yeah, because she delivered on the lines 100%. That they've given her. Yeah, and Leon's Leon,
and she played like shock, horror, and sorrow and grief really well, which is very hard to do.
I agree. So she's great. Leon's Leon. He's always the same in pretty much every game. The music is excellent. The genre is there's like some industrial.
Yeah, Silk Snake says the Japanese vocals for her are the same, so that's a direction thing.
Oh,
interesting. That was a choice the voice team made, not the actor.
Interesting. And then I had a glitch where Sherry Birkin's VO just disappeared for like 4 hours. So when Leon would be doing his little thing where he'd put his finger up to his ear to talk to her, you could only hear him.
Have you considered that Leon might just be crazy?
Or he just shut her off because he didn't want to hear her anymore.
Like, I'm just going to talk to my own ear.
But otherwise, the audio in this is incredible. It really
That'll
is
be funny
great.
At the end of the game. It's like, Sherry Birkin's been dead for 12 years. Yeah. Who have you been talking to this whole time?
But just walking around in like the mansion or the hotel in this and hearing like the big Mr. X style things walking around, you can hear the spatial place of where they are in the building, which is just amazing.
And you can even tell like eventually I got to the point like where like you'd hear that I'm like, oh, that thing's like 2 rooms away. Like you can tell how many walls
and that would
are away.
guide your gameplay as though you want to make a run for it or not. It just really, really great work. The audio in this is incredible. And then just some more final thoughts, I guess. the one thing I would say in general about this game, it is a good game. Like, I'm sitting here criticizing it a good bit, mostly the plot. It is a good game, and I enjoyed playing it all the way through. The plot was good enough to get me all the way through. And I will say this, the ending, they kind of stick the landing. Like, I don't want to spoil anything.
You don't get to say that about Resident Evil too much.
No, it's true. And it does wobble getting there, but in the end, they do stick it at the end. And again, the last act is a great homage to Resident Evil, and fans will just be gobbling it up. They'll be like, oh, wow, like, they did some really smart, cool things with it.
And
so
you do, after the whole, when she turns her report in, you get a 60-page document that covers the entire story and plotline of the Resident Evil series from game 1 to today, which is nice to have Capcom sort of codify as like, this is what we think the story is. Like, because the people doing it now are not the people that did it back in the day, so it's nice to have sort of a, here's canon.
Yeah.
Because
there's been a lot of
questions about that. Yeah.
For sure.
Resident Evil has not been the most, it's no Zelda, but it hasn't been the most solid timeline of events we've ever had in a video game series. So.
Yeah. So, look, I really like this game. It's not my favorite Resident Evil. Resident Evil 4 is still the best Resident Evil game.
4 is still number one for sure. I mean, I like it. I like the Leon stuff so much more than the Gray stuff that there's a problem there, basically.
I like that there was a switch.
I don't. I would rather it be one or the other.
Okay.
In part because that way, if you make a Leon game, I can play it, and if you make a horror game, I can ignore it.
Fair enough.
I just don't particularly like that style of game. Certainly not anymore. Yeah. Especially with the... Because it does bother way more than the plot holes. It does bother me that a fucking key takes up the same amount of space as a rifle.
Oh, I forgot to mention
that. It's
so
dumb.
This game, yes, I'm glad you brought this up, Matt. So in this game, you can pick up an herb off the ground and combine it with an herb in your inventory. Fine. Ammo? No.
Yeah, what is that?
Ammo? No. You have to have an empty slot in your inventory.
You can't just put it in the gun.
No.
And then, every time that happens, it's only happened 3 times so far, but every time it happens, if I do, because I'm like, okay, I'll just combine the 2 herbs, I have 2 things I'll combine to another healing item. And it won't let me pick the ammo up at all. I have to back out and then pick it up normally afterward. It won't let me take it from the little extra screen and put it in my inventory. What's that?
Or if you're playing as Leon, you have to go into the inventory and organize it like Tetris to fit the stuff.
Right, well, I mean, Leon does love doing that.
But with Grace, it's not that way.
Grace is standard Resident Evil inventory.
She never gets enough inventory that is full either.
Not standard, because they always had that kind of... But it's like the way the RE2 and 3 remakes work.
Yeah.
Like little squares, and you can buy the hip pouches that expand your squares out and stuff.
Leon, you have to fit it within whatever he's got.
Yeah, Leon plays Hoarder's Tetris, basically.
But it doesn't make any sense. It's like, why can I do it with herbs, but I can't do it with ammo?
I don't know. That felt to me like a bug.
I thought so too,
wrong.
maybe.
Why can't I just put that straight in the gun if there's room in the gun?
I don't know. I was very pissed off about that.
Because I feel like you could do that in previous games. I feel like you could
have.
do that
You've been able to do it in other Resident Evil games, but not this one. I think it was a creative decision for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I don't like your creativity.
I don't either. I definitely didn't like that call.
I don't support that creative choice. I think I should just be able... I mean, I guess you could argue that she doesn't know enough about guns to do that, but it's like, who gives a shit? Let me just put the fucking bullet in the gun.
Yeah, I agree. Now, as far as ranking this among the recent Resident Evils, I think I like Resident Evil Village more than this. But I like this more than Biohazard, more than 7.
I like the Lady Dimitrescu section of
Village
8 more, but overall, so far, I think I probably like this more, because it's... One of my things with the Ethan ones is it feels so disconnected from...
The rest of the
franchise.
Yeah.
And actually, to be fair, I have not played 8 since they added the third-person mode, so maybe that would change my mind about it.
Yeah, that could be.
But I also felt that once you... Because, you got to go through the 4 boss weirdos in that game. I felt like once I finished the Lady Dimitrescu section, I didn't really care about the others weren't as interesting as she was.
I would agree with that.
And I was like, it all felt downhill from there. Whereas, at least with this, even when I'm playing Grace and don't particularly enjoy it, I can look forward to playing Leon later. And according to you, a lot more Leon later.
Yeah, he dominates the second half of the game.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I did like 8 more than 7. I would probably put 8 at number 3 in this series, probably after 4 and the remake of 2. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'd put this yet. It's up there. It's top half.
I'll be interested to hear if your perspective changes after you finish it too. because you still got a lot of game to go. I finished this game in like 13 hours, 14 hours, something like that, somewhere around there.
It's about Resident Evil length.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 is more like 17
it's longer.
or 20.
Yeah.
But it's an action game. So.
Right. Yeah. And so for $70, I beat it in like a day and a half, basically.
Yeah, but it's Resident Evil, so you're supposed to play it again. You're supposed to do the...
there is Game Plus and all that kind of stuff afterwards. The other thing I'll say, too... Did I mention...
unlock tofu. Everybody knows that.
Did I mention the ending? I know I talked with you about it before we recorded, but
not on the show. I figure you were avoiding that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just say this. They handle the ending of this game in a very clever and smart way. Mm-hmm. And you do make a decision at the end of the game, and don't sit there for 20 minutes, like... pining over the decision, because after you make the decision and you see the outcome of it, the game gives you the option to choose the other one to see what happens. So
that's considerate.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else other than that. So don't freak out when you get to the end of the game and sit there for an hour trying to figure out which choice to make. It's not that big of a deal. You'll be allowed to go and see what happens if you make the other choice anyway. So I had a good time with this. Definitely not as good a time, I think, as this Metacritic might hint at, but it's a very well-crafted game. Definitely legitimate scares in this, for me anyway. I know you don't really get scared playing games.
Not really.
But there's definitely unnerving moments.
Actually, the biggest jump I had is when early on one of the transitions to the new place and they suddenly throw the giant white text up with a big thunk on the subwoofer. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's hilarious.
That I was not expecting.
But for me, I do get scared in movies and games and stuff. And the scare quotient in this is pretty high, I think, if people are affected by this stuff.
It doesn't scare me, but I see... Like,
definitely unsettling.
I appreciate it. Like, the artistry is there. It's not... A lot of it's not telegraphed in a dumb way. Like, the monsters look good and look... Like, they are things that if they popped up in front of you in real life, you would... lose your fucking mind. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like, the big oversized stuff and it all looks really good.
Yeah. So it looks good, sounds amazing, plays pretty well. I think really its biggest weakness is the plot. There's just too many plot holes for me. And again, I do calibrate a little bit for Resident Evil, but this to me is just egregious. Let's check in with you guys. I'm sure a bunch of you guys have played this already, I'm assuming. And again, I beat it in like a day and a half. It's not a big commitment. It doesn't take that long. Cinetike says, I love the little touches like Leon holding the flashlight between head and shoulder whilst reloading. Lots of excellent animation. Yeah. Like, the attention to detail in this is pretty good. So, if you forget and you leave Leon's flashlight on, in the cutscenes, he's holding it between his face and his shoulder while he's doing the other stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of attention to detail.
And if you don't have the flashlight on, he just does it. He doesn't hold it there. So, there is little stuff like that sprinkled throughout the game for sure. That's a good call there, Cinetike. Silk Snake says, do you think other language videos should get some shine? My partner played it in Japanese, and the performance was just as amazing. It's a shame that English is the only one that's celebrated. Well,
I mean, I'm sure in Japan they're celebrating the Japanese voice, but we understand English, so that's what we play it in.
Let's check with YouTube over here.
And the Game Awards are never going to nominate a Japanese actor because they're probably not going to fly over the Pacific Ocean to accept the award, so it's better to have somebody there.
Yep. Ian McGar says, I'm playing on Switch 2. Looks lovely and solid frame rate. That's good to hear. Thank you for that update. And then the Amazing Vector says, I do want to play this game, but knowing that Capcom makes their games with 3-year plans in mind makes me want to hold off on buying it for now. I mean, the one thing, it's not Nintendo. Like, this game will eventually be discounted.
Yeah, and there will probably be some DLC thing, and you'll be able to get it for like $15 in 3 years. They are not precious about their pricing.
No,
for sure.
Yep. JFJR says the most terrifying moment was the start of Dead Space in the elevator moment. It's pretty good.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Leonosaurus says I had a good time with it on PC. Path tracing is really taxing on my 4090. I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah, this is a pretty high level one.
Vincent brings up a good point about Japan. So Matt, in Japan, they put black bars over the crazy gory parts of the game.
Okay.
And people are saying it like messes with the immersion.
Oh, I'm sure.
It like totally breaks you out of the game. Like,
I wouldn't play that.
I can't believe Capcom did that.
That's very weird.
The other weird part about it is like the PC version technically doesn't need to be censored at all because it's not rated by Zero, and they censored the PC version still.
So I'm sure you can mod that out in 5 seconds.
But still, it's just weird.
It is weird. It is weird.
It's like, why? Let's see. Let's go back over to Twitch and see if people have something to say. Cinetike says, I play most JRPGs in Japanese, but Resi, I play mostly Western characters, so But I love Japanese VO for JRPGs. A lot of people do that.
Yeah, I do that too. I mean, also because JRPGs are so ridiculously juvenile in most of their storytelling that it usually helps the story to not fully understand what the characters are saying for me, and I can make the subtitles sound normal in my head.
Yep.
That's how the only way I got through Tales of Arise.
Yeah. Nightwing 3060 asks, did you like the variety of the enemies in it? Yes, I thought the enemy variety was good. Mm-hmm. Like, there really aren't that many zombies that repeat. Like, throughout the entire game.
And also, even like early on when you're just mostly up against normal zombies, they all do different things because they have that thing, like you said, where they remember who they were.
Yeah.
So you can't assume each zombie's going to behave the same way, which is nice.
I think the light switching zombie is repeated a few times.
Light switching zombies repeat a few times. The cleaning zombie is a couple times. But like in general, it's like there's a good enough variety of the different standard zombies. And like the one guy who is like even at the top of the stairs, like those two you saw at the top of the, like the male zombie and the female zombie behave completely differently.
Oh yeah.
Like, so he's very aggressive and she's more of a, wait, what are you doing here kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, even the attention to detail in this game is really impressive.
Yep. Silk Snake says my second run took 3 hours. What? I mean, I'm sure there's some way you can do it.
Oh yeah. I mean, the big unlock in original Resident Evil 2 was you had to beat it in under 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, last night I was on YouTube and I saw where people would put up the whole game as one file. Mm-hmm. And, they chop out when they're trying to figure stuff out. It's literally about as low a time as possible playing through it like a normal player.
Like the first time, yeah.
And it's like 9.5 hours. Mm-hmm. And it took me like 13 because I include the time where I was figuring out puzzles.
New Game Plus usually have bonuses and things you can do. You keep stuff, which is going to make things fast. And you know exactly where you're going, what you're doing. Everybody learns which zombies to run around and ignore.
Yep.
Like that kind of thing.
Cinetype brings up another good point. My gripe is you can't drop items onto the ground. Yeah, if you eliminate an item, it just disappears.
I mean, that is survival horror in a nutshell. It's stupid. It's like you should be able to leave things around. You should just put things in your pockets. I can see it's that artificial scarcity thing that it drives me out of my mind in this genre. It's so stupid. What's the tension? It's like the people would try to like justify the tank controls in the old games. Were like, oh, it was tense because you didn't know if your character was gonna. No, it fucking pissed me off. Is what the tension was in my fucking head. Like the vein was the tension in my forehead. It's just like that's not interesting.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for that anymore. Stop it. Be smart about it. Give him a keychain or something. I don't care.
Well, you do get charms that you can attach to your guns that give you buffs.
Right, but I mean, give me a chain for my key so I don't have to waste an inventory space the size of a bazooka on a fucking key.
Yeah.
What do you do?
El Guapo 3385, your 41st birthday. Happy birthday, El Guapo. Hope you're it was a great time for your birthday with the new Resident Evil game coming out. That's perfect.
A young lad.
Yeah.
41.
41. To be 41 again.
Yeah.
So it looks like that's all your comments about Resident Evil Requiem. Oh, favorite weapon. That's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
Shotgun. Yeah.
I mean,
I always feel confident when I have the shotgun and 5 shells. I'm always like, I'm good.
The Requiem's fine, but it's,
it kicks ass.
It does do its, it does its job.
It definitely does.
I think probably, even though it's useless as a standard melee, I like the parrying with the hatchet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's fun. Once you get that down, it's like kind of the bread and butter of Leon's gameplay.
And later on in the game, the bosses that you fight, you better have learned how to use that. You have to do it, or you can't beat it.
Feels like somebody who worked on that really liked that Wesker fight in 4.
Yeah, for sure.
Or not Wesker, what's his name? Krauser,
yeah, the knife fight. Yep. Jalzimpet, thank you for Twitch Prime. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Silkshake, is it Game of the Year worthy? Good question. Yeah, I mean, I'll consider it later on.
It's probably in the conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't played.
There's so many more games.
I mean, it's arguably the first game in the conversation
the first
of the year.
Well,
right?
unless Pokemon Pocopia apparently is a Game of the Year contender.
Okay.
I can't wait to play that now. I'm like, damn, okay. Like, it's a Game of the Year contender? Wow, all right. Yeah, I mean, it's a contender now. We'll see as more games come out throughout the course of the year if it can still kind of hang in that way.
Yeah, the problem that it has is always going to be that, like, it came out in February and you got to be remembered in December.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Doing a triple kill with the Requiem gun is awesome. And then, towards the end of the game, I started trying to have fun with it. Like, how many zombies can I take out with one sniper rifle? And you can take out a lot if you get them all lined up and nail that shot. So anyway, would you recommend people buy this, Matt, for $70?
Yeah, probably. I mean, if you like Resident Evil, I don't think this is going to change your mind if you hate Resident Evil. But at least it has something for everyone in terms of, like, if you're more of a fan of the old school survival horror, if you're more of a fan of the Leon action, they're both in here. Yeah. So as long as one doesn't piss you off too much, I think it's good for just about everyone who has any fondness for Resident Evil.
I agree. I think the breadth of the appeal for this game is definitely wider than most Resident Evil games. I do also think that there's something for pretty much everyone. I think the only caveat I would give is if you have a problem with gore. Because it is over the top.
It is very gory.
Yeah, so if stuff like that bothers you, steer clear. But look, I had a hell of a time for a day and a half playing this game. And in hindsight, Capcom sent me the code, but if I had spent $70 on it, I wouldn't regret it.
Yeah, so I think, especially if you've thought the last two are like weird side projects compared to the rest of the series.
This is more traditional.
This is definitely return to Resident Evil as we know it.
Yeah. Just don't go in thinking that the plot is going to set your world on fire.
No. Also, because it's Resident Evil, I don't know who would go in thinking that. It's all nonsense. It's always been nonsense. Viruses don't work that way, for one thing.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we are members of STARS.
STARS. All right. It's time to move on. We're going to talk next about probably the biggest debut of the week, and that is Pokemon Winds and Waves.
Is it Winds or Wind?
Winds and Waves, I believe.
Winds?
Yeah, I think so.
That's weird.
It is. I mean, here's the thing, Matt. Like, this whole thing was spoiled, basically. Like, because of that,
we knew this name before, right?
We knew the name. We knew pretty much. They haven't even really revealed hardly anything about this yet, officially from Nintendo. But here's the thing, Matt. Everything that leaked out in that Giga Leak or whatever the heck it was called appeared in this trailer. So my guess is everything else that was in that Giga Leak is also going to end up being accurate.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon is such a big game. It's like once all this stuff was revealed to the public, there's just no way you can turn the Titanic away from the iceberg. Like, you just can't all of a sudden be like, oh, I guess it's not open world anymore because people know it's open world already. Like, no. It ended up being pretty much exactly what the leak said it was going to be. So it is an open world game, which isn't that big of a deal because Scarlet was pretty much open world as well.
They've been like kind of edging in that direction for a while.
Yeah. And this one, based on this trailer anyway, looks like it is legit open world. So
it's always a little weird to be reminded that Pikachu has fur.
It is, yeah, because only certain games can actually show that.
Only certain games actually show that. The anime never really showed fur. You just don't really think about it.
Yep. And so this is an open world game, like the leak suggested. They revealed the 3 starters, which was the only new information, I think, that was not already out there. And then it also, the setting for this, even though, again, they didn't share exactly what it's called, it does look like it's set in a collection of islands, an archipelago in Southeast Asia, which people hinted at. The other thing that we knew about before this trailer was released was that there's supposed to be some sort of underwater gameplay. The last shot in this trailer seems to hint that you're going to go underwater and play underwater. The other thing we knew about before this trailer was that there's supposed to be weather effects and things you have to deal with. It looks like the wind and stuff like that is
and perhaps the waves.
And the waves. They show like a lighthouse in this and a windmill in this with the windmill moving to intimate that the wind's actually there or whatever. So it does feel like, unfortunately, one of the biggest game reveals of 2026 ultimately was kind of ruined quite a while ago. But we're looking at the game, which is a big deal. And I was very nervous that this game was going to be ugly because pretty much the last 4 or 5 Pokemon games have been. And while this still isn't quite up to scratch with what you would expect in 2026, it is a pretty big step forward.
Yeah, for Pokemon, it looks good.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the best looking Pokemon game.
Certainly the environments are.
Yeah.
The characters are still kind of where they were.
Yep.
The ocean looks great.
It does. The waves and everything. And didn't the team that works on Xenoblade, Monolith, help on this?
Monolith helps on a lot of these things, it sounds like.
It looks like they finally used Monolith's engine for this game.
I don't know about that.
No?
But I mean, you can't really tell just by looking at that. But I'm sure they use Monolith's input on it.
I mean, it's definitely a big step up from Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
And so to me, either they built a new engine or they got one from somebody. So
I mean, you can do engine just means your tool set for the most part. If you can update stuff to do different things, and you don't need to change the engine really. I mean, look at look at what Bethesda keeps doing with that Gamebryo engine is almost 30 years old, and they're still doing stuff with it.
I mean, this is a drastic upgrade visually. So whether they completely overhauled their engine or they started using the Xenoblade engine, I don't know, but it definitely, the results are noticeable and impactful. Let's talk about the starters. There's Bean Chick Pokemon called Brout, which is a grass type. There's a puppy Pokemon called Pombon, which is a fire type. And there's a water gecko Pokemon called Geoqua? Geoqua? Geoqua?
Geoqua? I guess. Yeah.
And of course, that's a water type.
Right.
So those are the 3 types. Which one do you think you're going to pick, Matt?
I don't care.
Really?
I don't like any of them, really.
Yeah, none of the 3 really stood out for me.
I will pick probably whatever and use other ones I catch.
Well, my starter ends up most times becoming my house wrecker.
That's usually how starters turn out. I probably would not pick the gecko.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I hate geckos.
I don't hate geckos.
I
like geckos. I just don't care about. I just don't particularly like the design of this one.
Yeah. Also, they did mention something about Pokemon and ecosystems in this. That the Pokemon have created their own ecosystems within each region in the game. So I guess there's going to be like weather-themed Pokemon, and they're only going to be like the water Pokemon are going to be in the ocean, which makes sense.
Maybe. But ecosystem implies to me that there's some kind of food chain, which would be a different.
Are they going to take that step? Pokemon eating each other?
I mean, in the anime, there's a whole thing where they were imagining, Brock and Ash were imagining sushi, and they were picturing Magikarp. So the implication is that people do eat Pokemon.
That's pretty brave. So anyway, I think ultimately what we got out of this, and here's the starters. I don't remember if they show them from the front here.
Yeah, they do, briefly.
I'll pause it so we can see them. There they are. Yeah, I mean, the one already looks like Growlithe.
I mean, they all kind of look this. I mean, the other one kind of looks like that Froakie or whatever.
No, you're right. Pioki or is that
Froakie or
something like that. I know what you're talking about.
The blue frog.
Yeah.
You know. I'm just wondering, like, what do they become? You know, does the puppy grow up to be like a fucking muscle man, thirst trap, furry wolf?
Guy.
You never know what these fucking things are.
No, you're right. When they evolve, they could become anything.
You're like, why is that dog martial arts type?
I mean, I'm just saying right now, I'm probably going to take the dog.
Maybe. Honestly, I'm going to probably look up who the easiest one to
right.
use is. Like, which one is more powerful
in the version that I get.
Yeah,
that's probably what I'll do too. But ultimately, it's this is another case where leaks kind of ruined everything, and it does.
I don't know. I barely remembered that they.
Oh, really? I had just done something like a month ago about it, so I kind of remembered like all the stuff. So there wasn't really that much new in this for me, unfortunately. But at the same time,
I mean, the point is to see it.
Yeah, and at the same time, like I'm happy with what I'm seeing here. So
I was mostly surprised that it's not till next year.
Yep, and it's Switch 2 only.
Yeah,
it's not coming to Switch 1.
That is bold.
That's a big deal.
I mean, it makes sense looking at it, but it's like I wouldn't have thought they'd have done that.
Me either. Yeah, so I was pleasantly surprised to hear that. That's the only reason why it looks so good. Would be my guess. That probably wouldn't run on Switch 1, sadly. So
the Ocean Tech, I don't think would work on Switch 1.
Yep,
probably.
I'd agree. So anyway, that's pretty much all the information we have on Gen 10 Pokemon right now. Let's go to you guys in chat real quick. See what y'all are saying about it. See if it flipped your triggers or not. E3 came out early last year, to be frank. It came out kind of earlier this year, too, because Sony just had that big state of play.
No,
like
E33, Expedition 33.
Oh, Expedition 33.
Things being considered for Game of the Year.
I've never heard it being called that before.
Oh, yeah, people always
E33.
call it that. People always call it that.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't... I mean, that was more of a special case, really.
Yeah. Eric Cartmena says, I was hoping for a Theme Switch 2 to be announced. I think that will happen.
I think we got a lot of time.
There's plenty of time. Because that's the other thing we didn't mention. Or did you mention 2027?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not coming until next year. So there's plenty of time. They have a whole cycle they need to go through here to promote the game for the next, year. Mm-hmm. So I think there will be a Switch 2 for this game. The Gen 10 Pokemon, big deal. East Demon says also Pokemon Champions is releasing in April. Yep. Yeah, so there was a whole Pokemon thing that happened. This wasn't just for Winds and Waves. They did everything. Because it's also the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. Mm-hmm. And so every Pokemon game is getting some love. And they had a big presentation this week, blah, blah, blah. Commander Fett says they really like that low swooshing shot in this trailer. They really do. I don't know why. It was hard to grab screenshots from that trailer that looked good for the site. I'll just say that. Because Nintendo never puts out official screenshots, and if it does, they're like the size of a postage stamp. So Vincent says, so what's Nintendo's holiday game? Is it actually 3D Mario? I think it might be. Yeah.
I don't know. It depends what they've done with EAD, like, or whatever, because they just did Donkey Kong.
Well, it's Tokyo Studio that does the 3D Marios now.
But it's the same. It was the same team that did.
It's
Odyssey,
like EPD, I think is what they call it. Yeah.
But the Donkey Kong team was mostly the Mario Odyssey team.
It was, yeah.
So who would have made the new 3D Mario at that point?
I think I read something not long ago that they did expand the Tokyo Studio and made it bigger, but you have to. You can't develop 2 games like that at the same time unless you have a big team.
It would make if the game for the latter half would probably to me be a Zelda thing, because it's the 40th. It's the 30th anniversary of something coming up, or that's 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah, it's for Ocarina. Yeah,
but it's still the 40th of the main series.
Yeah,
and they haven't mentioned anything.
They haven't really mentioned Zelda at all.
There's a lot of anniversaries this year. For
Anuma did say something like right around before the holidays. He mentioned something vaguely about it, just basically like we're working on it, and it's not gonna be Breath of the Wild 3.
No, I don't think anyone would expect that. But I don't know, like a nice remake of Link to the Past or something. Like,
I mean, they kind of did that, didn't they?
No, they didn't.
No, they did.
They haven't touched Link to the Past since the Game Boy. They did Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening. Yeah.
Maybe not like that art style, but it would be nice to see something. Maybe, I don't know, something.
Nope.
Something.
Rockstar South 3045 Invisible Walls Reunion podcast, please. We could get some people together to do it, maybe. But a lot of people are working at other places, and some of them aren't allowed, believe it or not.
Yeah, there's
to go on, which is really dumb and short-sighted.
It is.
Because at least a couple of them are kind of working in smaller places that you guys probably don't even know about, and it would be good for them to get their faces in front of you guys.
Places like that, I mean, almost everywhere should be put, like, everybody go on everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way you really spread your audience anymore, yeah. Matthew Winglebart 1270 on YouTube. Have you heard from Marcus Beer lately? Haven't heard anything since the fires. Yes, I stay in touch with Marcus. He's going through some personal stuff right now that I'm not going to get into. And his health is actually kind of stabilized, believe it or not, despite all the crap he's gone through over the last 10 years. But he's physically, he's doing okay. I think mentally he's going through some stuff right now. But I'm in touch with him, and he's okay. I'll just leave it at that. Anything else? Ionic457, guys, don't forget to like the video to help boost its algorithm. Yes, although that doesn't work on YouTube because the version that you guys are watching right now gets deleted as soon as the show is over. But still, when it goes up, please like it. That would be awesome. Let's see, anything else over here? Erebus Jones, my son is nuts for Pokemon, but this isn't enough to make me buy him a Switch 2 for it. So, miss for now. So brave not to put it on Switch 1. Well, here's the thing, Erebus. It's not coming out till next year. So in that amount of time, we could get a new 3D Mario. We could maybe get a Zelda. Maybe that'll change. So by the time it comes out, maybe you will be willing to buy a Switch 2.
Maybe Pokopia will be the thing that makes everyone demand
Game of the Year contender, apparently. Silk Snake says, aren't they also selling 2 older games? Yeah, the red and blue, basically.
Yeah, red and blue. For a little more than probably...
$20 each.
$20 each is... Although, if you buy the actual cartridges, you're paying like $100 each. So I suppose it is a deal.
Vincent says, I think they're waiting for the Mario hype to finish up before celebrating Zelda.
Probably. You probably want to get past the movie before you start talking about Zelda. Because then you got a Zelda movie to push next year. So
yeah, that's true. Because that's the other thing we have to consider now is the films. We never had to consider that with Nintendo anymore, but now we do.
I mean, I don't know how. We'll see. They didn't really synergize a whole lot with the first movie, but now that it's a hit and they sort of have this thing going, like, we'll see what they do with it.
Yeah.
Synergy with like other media releases doesn't seem to be a priority in the game industry much anymore. Or maybe it's vice versa. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it feels super weird that like the MCU did not have video game tie-ins after the Phase 1 stuff. Like, there was never an Avengers game. There was never a more Iron Man. There was every once in a while something would trickle out, but there was never anything that would take advantage of that.
I think a lot of companies kind of lost their asses on that stuff, and we're just like, you're going to charge me too much for that license for it not to be a guaranteed hit.
But once you got into the era where you had Insomniac making Spider-Man, it's like, it felt like, clearly, I mean, if you put the effort in, you can do it.
Yeah.
Easily. You can make it happen.
There's only one Insomniac, sadly.
Right, but especially like in the era where, like, Rocksteady's churning these Batman games out, you're like, just do it right. Like, just make good games. And obviously that it's not that easy. Like, I know people worked on all the old Spider-Man games and like dealing with Marvel is not any kind of a picnic. It's always something weird, and somebody's got this license for that, and you can't use that, and we didn't know you couldn't use that until we talked to that other department, and now you got to change everything. Like, it's very frustrating. It can be very frustrating, but like, it's just weird that there's no support for that.
It's very strange. It feels like Insomniac's the only studio left that's working on Marvel stuff.
Well, I mean, there's
other than like beat 'em ups and like
you got the beat 'em ups. You've got that Amy Hennig game that may not ever come out.
Who knows if that's ever going to be released?
A lot of mobile stuff, but it's like weird. Like, there was that. There was no synergy with Star Wars when the new movies were coming out, and now there's nothing.
Yeah. Now they're coming out.
Now you're getting some stuff, yeah,
for no reason.
Which got Galactic Racer, which is like. Also, I guess kudos for having the balls to not put Mando and Grogu in that game, because the timing is right, the movie's coming out. So it's like, okay, or maybe that's the pre-order bonus. I don't know.
I mean, they should have been plastered all over that Galactic Racer trailer.
You'd think.
Yeah.
Also, like that Galactic Racer, because the movie is using kind of that like not 20s serial sort of like bombastic text, sort of like it's like Mando and Grogu. It's like
right.
It's like the spectacle. It feels like you could plaster that kind of art style all over Galactic Racer.
Oh yeah,
if it would fit.
Their UI and everything. Yeah,
but
for
they
sure.
Didn't, so.
No, yeah, interesting. Okay, it's time to move on. Next, we're going to talk about probably what most people played this week before Resident Evil came out, or even while Resident Evil was in the rotation like me, and that is Marathon, Bungie's brand new extraction shooter. Matt, did you get a chance to play this, the server slam this week?
No.
I did. Now,
maybe that's why it dropped off, because Resident Evil came out.
Probably. That
was a day later, right?
Yeah. So we talked in the show Open about how it did pretty well on Steam. I think people in chat went and confirmed it had 140K concurrence max, which is pretty good. But then it had a huge drop off after that, and I can see why. I played this game. I think I probably spent 4 or 5 hours, something like that, playing it. The first thing I am going to say, Matt, is that this game is stunning. There is no game that looks like it. While you're playing it, it doesn't wear off. At least in the 5 hours that I played it, it didn't wear off. But it's also a double-edged sword, because it's very hard to like read the game itself. It all kind of blends together in kind of this day glow.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the clips I've seen, to me it's very hard to tell that something is another player and not just part of the scenery.
The world.
Yeah.
Because everything is day glow colored, like the grass, the sky, like everything. And so it does kind of blend together, but man, like when you do reach certain parts of the game, like, there's no other game that looks like this. And it does run amazing. Like, it just blazes by. So, technically, I think this game is up to scratch. Now, one thing I will say, Matt, is I really do not understand the aesthetic of this game. What does a moth crawling across a porcelain mask have to do with an extraction shooter?
Well, it indicates to me that whoever did all this really liked Aeon Flux.
I mean,
I don't know. It's just sort of weird for the sake of weird, and I admit that, like, at least it stands out because of that. You got to do something to get people. I mean, this is the kind of visual attention grab that Highguard needed, and it didn't have it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and again, I mean, I'm an old Marathon fan from back, the original Marathons. The old Mac, and I don't know what this has to do with anything. I meing, it's on Tau Ceti, like the Tau Ceti connection. There's
Tau Ceti 4.
There's some symbology connections. There's like the Svit and some of the aliens are there, but it doesn't seem to have anything to do with Marathon outside of like, sure, we'll call it Marathon and throw some of these elements in.
Yeah. So all
which
this
is
stuff
fine. I don't expect Marathon to ever come back again. It's fine.
Yeah.
But like, it's just okay.
All the weird art that you've seen in the trailers, like, it's in the game. Like, the UI has the moth crawling across the porcelain mask, and he's weird. It's like a seizure machine, this game. Like, if you have problems with strobing lights and flashing colors and stuff like that, do not touch this game.
Kind of makes me think of Qzar.
A little bit.
With all the black light day glow.
Seriously, that's an interesting comparison there. So there is some kind of a setup to this, though I will say that, like, it was hard for me to find the actual plot in this. There are references here and there to some other stuff, but there's no, like, cut scenes where the plot is moved forward. It's really not Destiny, I guess is what I'm getting at. It really is just a competitive multiplayer shooter. It's supposed to have a plot. I didn't see really much of it at all. And again, the cutscenes are just these weird, like, avant-garde scenes of just weird random crap in day glow colors. I have no idea what it's supposed to have to do with the game or Marathon. But basically the setup for the game is that you are sent to this planet, Tau Ceti 5, to scavenge the ruins of a long-lost human colony in an area called New Cascadia. And there's an evil megacorp called Cyber Acme that's running all this thing, and basically you're a runner or a bounty hunter. It's your job to go into this left-behind world and scavenge all the crap out of it, and then extract it and give it to this megacorp. That's pretty much the setup. Like, you're an AI, you're not actually like a person. And so when you die, you just basically go back into the machine and get regenerated back out into the world again. Of course, it's an extraction shooter, so you're not really like respawning, so to speak. But that's kind of
weirdly similar to that other extraction shooter thing where everybody's a clone of themselves.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of.
Well, this also has a lot of similarities with Arc Raiders. So, like, the enemies in this are all robots. Of course, other players as well, and they are the real enemies, and I'll get to that in a second. But the enemies that Bungie put in the game are these robots. And my first mission, Matt, I went into a building, I started sorting through stuff. It's a loot shooter extraction game. But the game is very hard to tell what stuff has any value to it. Like, I'm sure there's like legendary color coding eventually, so it's easy to see by the colors. But when you first start playing this, everything is like low rank. And so you go into a room and you're scavenging. I had no idea what I should take at all. And the game does a horrible job of messaging that to you. But anyway, I go into the first room, I'm scavenging around. I grab everything like a moron and fill up my inventory. I run outside, I run 30 feet, and a robot kills me. 30 feet! I was like, okay. So I rebooted it, started it again, was very scared to go outside this time, like made sure that I checked before I ran outside this time. I survived like 2 minutes before there's the enemies, I'm going to go fight them. Oh, that was a mistake. The time to kill in this game is extremely short, like way shorter than Call of Duty, if you can believe that. Literally, whoever shoots first wins pretty much every face-off in this. There's no juking and diving and getting out of the way and surviving after getting hit with a couple bullets. If you get shot, you pretty much die. And the game, at least what I played...
sure isn't what the trailers want you to think.
Yeah. Well, the game that I played was squads of 3. So you go out with 2 other players, and I'll say this, like, most of the people I played with were great. Like, they were awesome. They were very helpful. They were trying to show me things. They were reviving each other. Like, I was pleasantly surprised by the community that I interacted with while I'm playing this. But then you have to start dealing with the other humans that are in the game. And this... Look, it's an extraction shooter. I understand certain people really like this. I am not a fan of extraction shooters. I was not a fan of Helldivers. I was not a fan of Arc Raiders. Both those games are huge. So I'm probably the last person that should be giving you their opinion on extraction shooters, unless you're like me and you haven't really resonated with one yet, because I think that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the one where it clicks and it makes sense. What I've played of Marathon so far, it does not feel like this is the one. It's hard to learn because the game does a terrible job of onboarding, and you die so fast that it's also hard to learn while you're playing the game. Like, it took me 3 matches to get to level 2 because I would just die instantly and just have to go and start another match. So it took me 3 matches just to get to level 2. So to me, I don't know. I don't know who this is trying to appeal to. Because, Matt, you said the bounce-off rate for this was extremely high. I know why. Because the same thing...
They were down to like 9,000 players in the last day.
Yeah, because the same thing happened to them that happened to me. You're alive for like 20 seconds, and some jackhole shows up and shoots you in the back, and you're dead, and it's over. And one thing I will say that this game does to try to mitigate that disappointment a little bit is you have this cache of things that you can protect. So you put them in this folder, basically, and if you die, you will still have access to that stuff for the next match. That is one thing that it does that I was like, okay, this can maybe help you get it over the hump. And I did read impressions last night from a couple people that really enjoyed it. Because I wanted to figure out, like, what is it about this that makes it good for people that like these types of games? And people basically said, like, it sucked for me, too, the first 2 days. And then the 3rd day, it clicked, and now I really like it. Like, that seemed to be the overarching opinion. To me, it would be really tough to get to that 3rd day, unless you are very, very patient, or you see some kind of a spark in the game that really kind of excites you. But otherwise, I played this for a handful of hours, and I was like, I get it, and I still don't get it.
Yeah, I don't really know what because I know I've seen that, like, on the Arc Raiders community, like, there's people that report people who kill other players
Really?
at the extraction zone.
Wow.
For being like disruptive. And everyone's like, that's the
game
point. Like, that's the game. Like, and they're like, no, like you shouldn't be doing. If you do that, you're basically a sociopath.
They're trying to police the game.
Yeah, they're trying to police how people. I was like, no. In fact, it seems a little more sociopathic to demand that everyone else play the game the way you think it should be played when it's clearly not designed for that.
I mean, if Embark wanted that to happen, they would have designed it that way.
Right. The point is to kill the people that have the loot and take
their stuff.
That's the game.
And I'm not a cutthroat guy. I'm not like that. So the whole aesthetic and ideal behind extraction shooters are like oil and water to me. Like, I don't want to just show up and take someone's stuff who just spent 30 minutes gathering it and I just showed up with a more powerful gun and killed him and took it. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to play in games with other people that are like that. So that's why, for me, extraction shooters have just never clicked. I don't like being a jerk. And you kind of have to be if you really want to make advancements and improve your gear. So I have not seen anything in Marathon, and again, I played a handful of hours, but I have not seen anything in Marathon that changes my perspective on this subgenre in any significant way. And the other problem I have with this, Matt, is like, how do they think they're going to pull people away from Arc Raiders to play this, other than the art style?
I mean, I think the game began development long before Arc Raiders was a thing. That's the answer to that.
Well, the one thing I will say, Matt,
somebody beat him to it, basically.
Yeah. The gunplay in this is great.
That's Bungie.
What is it? How does Bungie have such great gunplay in every game? What is it doing? Why can nobody else figure it out? Like, I played High on Life 2. We reviewed that in last week's show. The gunplay in that was abysmal. How can Bungie always nail it, but these other studios can't?
One of those weird studio culture things, or maybe they've just had the same people that are really good at that forever.
Or there's some piece of code that they have that they just keep inserting into their games for their guns. I don't know.
Or they have some special, some presentation or some kind of like, it's like how Insomniac used to say that like the key to making a 3D platformer feel good is to let people defy gravity briefly.
Yeah.
Like you let them jump a little later than the physics say they should be able to jump off of the platform, and that's what makes it feel good. Mm-hmm. Maybe Bungie has a similar kind of internal design mantra for how their guns work. But because it's true that nothing quite feels like a Bungie shooter.
This game's got it, man, and that is its one saving.
You can kind of tell looking at the footage, really.
The guns feel great, like they just do. Like every one of them, like the way they kick and the feedback and the controller and the sound. It's just, if you like Bungie gunplay, you're going to like the gunplay in this. I can promise you that. And that is definitely its best trait. But again, I don't think that's enough to pull people away from Arc Raiders. I just don't.
Probably not. I mean, not for something they're charging money for.
Yeah. Because it's also just very similar. You're going out with a couple dudes and you're shooting robots.
Mm-hmm. And you're just, Arc Raiders players are already invested.
Yeah. With money. More important than anything, they've already put money into the game. They have skin in the game. So I was pleasantly surprised by this game in some ways and disappointed in others. There's like 7 different classes. There was 5 that were unlocked in the server slam. And I played with maybe 3 different ones, and they are the typical archetypes. You got like your typical healing, you got your brute, you got your scout, recon, blah, blah, blah. So they look different, but they do sort of serve all the same purpose, which I think is probably smart for any game like this. So people, at least there's something about it that you can jump in and understand right away. But like, again, the modes and all that stuff wasn't unlocked, so I can't really remark on all that stuff all that much. I was just able to play like one mode with 3 team squads, and I played for a handful of hours. And that's kind of what I came back from it. I'm struggling to figure out where the market is for this game. I mean, there is one, but they're all playing a game already that's not that old, and to your point, they're already invested in financially and emotionally.
That translates to there is no market for this game.
Probably.
Like, the market's taken.
Yeah,
it's saturated. Like, there is the 1 in 100 chance that your game is the thing that breaks through that. Arc Raiders did it.
Yeah,
but what are the odds?
It's 1 out of like 100. It feels like
you kind of got. It's kind of have to be. Arc Raiders kind of has to be older for that to happen. I think. Like the shine is still.
People need to be losing interest in Arc Raiders to move on to the next thing for sure. The other thing too is like, it was very difficult for me.
And they haven't fucked that up yet.
You're right.
That's the thing. Like, because that happens too. Is like the live service stuff. They make some horrible mistake in like season 5 or something, and then everybody's like, "Well, I don't know if I want to play this anymore." Yeah. And then you kind of have a window, but you can't predict that on a game that's like taking you 5 years to develop. Like, it's impossible.
True. mission objectives, like one of the first mission objectives you get in this is like activate this BDS or something like that. It doesn't tell you what that is, where you might find it.
It's BDS. It's the big dick system.
Whatever.
Everybody knows that.
I don't even. That may not even be the right acronym. I'm just saying, like, I had no idea where it was, what I'm supposed to do, and then finally, like, I latched on with somebody who found it, and we stumbled upon it together, which maybe that's how they want it to, but I was just frustrated. I'm like, I need to get through this crappy beginner mission so I can level up and get a new guns or whatever, and like, it just wasn't happening. And then, anyway, it's a striking game with really good gunplay, and I think it's completely doomed. That's what I would say. Because this game it goes on sale tomorrow? Or the 5th, I think.
5th? Yeah, I think, is it Friday? Thursday night, Friday?
Thursday or Friday.
I think so,
yeah, so it's coming out very soon. And I think Bungie is going to be in for an unpleasant surprise. I really do. I hope not, because it could be the end of Bungie. And just the gunplay in this alone would make me weep for Bungie disappearing. So I don't really know what to say about it. I don't know who to say this game is for, because I would not recommend that somebody drops playing Arc Raiders to come over and play this. The tone of this is entirely different from Helldivers 2. So if you like the whole anti-fascist angle of that, you're not getting that here. So I don't know. I don't know who this game is for.
It doesn't sound like a very good intro to extraction shooters.
No, it's onboarding's terrible. Like, so that's why people are bouncing off. You get into this thing and you're getting killed every 10 seconds. You're like, what am I supposed to even be doing? I think I'm supposed to collect stuff, but which stuff? Like, it all looks the same. Like, all the icons are hard to see the differences in. And look, I'm sure once you played this for 30 hours, I would watch my conversation with you about this. I'd be like, oh, Shane, how do you mean you couldn't tell the difference? Because I played it for 5 hours and I couldn't tell the difference. I'm sure at 30 hours, you're like, oh, it's obvious. Yeah, but that's onboarding. This game does not onboard players well. And with games like this, there may not be anything more important.
And you have to do that even more when you have like an art style like this.
Right.
When it's looks so unique, you have to be able to educate the players as like what's what.
Yeah. And look, there are thrilling moments, like when your 3-squad team realizes that there's another squad that has engaged and it's on and it's 3-on-3. When you know that's happening, it's exciting. Yeah. But honestly, Matt, I got shot in this without seeing anybody almost every single time.
I hope they make a secret level episode out of this.
That's
what I would like to see. Because I don't really want to play it, but I would like to see more of it.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what you guys thought. I'm hoping maybe some of you guys in chat actually got to play more of it than I did. Maybe you spent the whole weekend playing it. I saw people online that were like, that love it. They're like, oh, it took a couple of days, but now I'm in. Like,
yeah,
I can't
not
wait.
Everyone hated it. I mean, a lot of people were converted, I think.
Yeah. So I was not one of them, but maybe if I had played it for 3 days. But here's the thing. I don't think I could have got to the 3 days, Matt. Like, I don't think I would have made it. Like, I would have quit before I got to the point where it all started clicking. Ruthina77, I love it compared to Call of Duty. Interesting. When you say that, do you mean how the guns feel to shoot, or do you mean the modes? Like, you'd rather play an extraction shooter instead of team deathmatch or something like that? Because I can understand, definitely the gunplay in this feels real good. Call of Duty's gunplay feels good too, but Bungie's is just this extra level. It really is. Silksnake, I'd watch an anime of this. We'll probably not play. I don't have time for multiplayer now. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it does depend on how much free time you have and stuff like that. Vincent says the market is you want an extraction shooter with Bungie's gunplay. Okay. Juan X Solo, it showed you on the map though. I'm not sure what he means there.
I guess where to go or what to do.
It didn't show me though. I was looking for a waypoint and I didn't see one. But again, reading the game is so hard because there's just so many overlays and the UI is just so busy and like you're just always like little things popping up and it's like, what am I supposed to be looking at? It's almost like overkill. Pollock says, I'm moving on from Arc Raiders, as after the initial novelty wore off, the game loop became very boring to me. I never resonated with that game at the beginning. I still can't believe how big of a hit it is. I really can't. It is a huge thing, but it did not click for me. Like, I played that a lot. I played probably 15 hours of Arc Raiders, something like that, and I just never got it. I never understood why people liked it so much. But again, I wasn't a big Helldivers 2 fan either, so. I was surprised when it automatically marked it when I was near it. Oh, when you got near it. I guess that's what happened.
On Gune, he says that the marking was
it's borked sometimes. Well, there you go. Yep, there was definitely some issues I saw in this. The game crashed twice, but it said it was having network issues. So I don't know. Maybe it was a game.
That sure covers a lot of things.
Right.
So.
I mean, it could be the game. It could be the net code. Who knows? But it did crash on me a couple times. So, yeah, it's not quite finished, but it's coming out in 2 days. It is what it is. What else we got in here? Well, if the artist is okay, now they're talking about the artist who was ripped off. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like Bungie did make the artist whole.
Yeah, it seems like they settled that however they needed to settle it.
All I needed to hear was that the artist was happy. And once I heard that, I was like, okay.
And all that's left to really be is like, how about not doing that again?
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah. Andy T. Monahan says, people might be just tired of seeing these kinds of games over and over again when they already have their game of choice and don't see anything that's going to pull them away. And that's really the thing. It's like, once you get invested in this stuff, like, it's hard to pull people out.
Especially because, like, I think especially for people who play multiple games, are willing to play multiple games at a time, just in general, not necessarily just, like, live service, but, like, if I'm invested in a live service game and some other live service game is coming out, I'm not really probably going to, like, let my progress on the one I'm currently playing wane unless it's something that's like really compelling, and I don't really see a lot of super compelling games like. Whereas if like another like different game, a thing that's not a multiplayer, a boutique's like story-driven game or so, like I do think a lot of people will make room in their schedule for Resident Evil, but I don't think they'll make room for Marathon because it's too similar to what they're already playing. Like I know that like the dragon that the companies are chasing is the infinite wealth like bottomless pit that is if you get the hit live service game. But at a certain point, wouldn't you rather survive by selling 10 million copies of a single player game than to, roll the dice and get that 1 in 1,000 chance that you do get to be the hit live service? I mean, I know the shareholders want one thing, but reality says the other thing.
Well, Commander Fed just said in chat what I agree with is that the single player in this sucks and like it's pointless. Like you think it's tough playing with two teammates, try to go out there by yourself. And
we know that Bungie doesn't have to be pointless, stupid single player.
Yeah.
Like that gunplay will translate. Yeah, absolutely.
I would play a single player game
100%.
That looks like this and is set in this universe
Absolutely.
from Bungie. I would play the living hell out of that game.
Too. I would
and
too.
that might be all Sony.
Yeah, I think that's true.
So anyway, I agree with you, Commander Fett. I would play a single-player Marathon that looked and played like this. Absolutely. But when it's an extraction shooter, not going to get it done for me. Emperor Dread is making an observation. All chat is talking about is the controversy over the stolen art. Yeah. Again, for me, if the artist said that they are happy with the final outcome of the situation, that's all you can ask for. I mean, at that point, you're white knighting for somebody who doesn't want it. Like, yeah. And the artist said they are completely cool. My guess is that artist got paid a shit ton of money for their art ultimately, which they should have been paid at the beginning, and we get it, and we won't forget this. I won't forget it. I'll remember that Bungie tried to steal someone's art, but ultimately, once it was discovered, they did make good on it, and if the artist says that they felt like they were made good on it, then that's good enough for me. Who am I to tell the artist that they're wrong for feeling like they were made whole? That's crazy. So, anyway. Amazing Vector says, I love the server slam. Really put the rough edges from Arc Raiders into perspective. I'm making the switch personally. Okay, so that did work on somebody. I haven't played Arc Raiders since launch week, so maybe it is still janky. It was definitely a little janky when I played it. I think I had assumed over time that a lot of that stuff would have been fixed, but maybe not. According to the Amazing Vector, it sounds like it hasn't been. So anyway, there you go. That's Marathon. Well, I'll probably... I have review code coming, so we'll talk about this again next week, but I mean, most of it will be framed of what I said right now versus how I felt after I played it a lot more. So it'll probably be a shorter segment, but we'll still touch on it. And hopefully by then, a lot of you guys have played more of it too. But you had a chance to play it for free, and a lot of you didn't. Think about that.
Yeah.
If a lot of you guys would not play it for free, are you going to pay $40 for it? Hell no! Maybe this is what it's going to take, Matt, for Sony to snap out of it. Bungie wasting $3.6 billion on Bungie. Maybe that will finally do it. I don't know, man. Pollock says that he thinks that TTK is longer than COD. I do not agree with that at all. I play COD every day. And I played COD, turned it off, and put this on. And to me, TTK was definitely shorter a Marathon. Bottom line is I think we can both agree they're close, for sure. So they want, it's all about the shielding. And look, I know Bungie has this master plan where they've done the math and they're like, oh, if we give them more than a third of a second to TTK, then, the shield system that we've built won't work the way we want to. And again, a lot of people that have been playing it for 30 or 40 hours talked about that stuff. Right. And that's why they said it took like the third day before it started clicking for them. Most people are not going to give a game 3 days. So a lot of people won't give it a day for free. So...
Erebus Jones is probably right. Fair games is the thing that needs to blow up in their face to really end this.
Because Jade was attached to it at one point.
No, I think Jade matters in that regard. I think it's because it's the last remaining thing. Like
it's the last one.
It's the payday alike.
Yeah.
It's like now you've basically...
You tried them all.
You basically had one of every kind fail,
right.
And now maybe we can admit that this was a bad idea. Right?
That's hilarious. But you're right. Yeah, I agree with that. Yep. So anyway, there you go. That's Marathon.
Like we had our Overwatch ripoff. We had our Extraction. I mean, I guess it kind of is sort of in the same vein as Fortnite. They're aiming for Fortnite.
Well, they have 2 extraction shooters. They had Helldivers and now this.
Like Helldivers worked though because the Extraction isn't really the point of Hell. The Extraction is to survive it, but even if you don't, you still did it. Because everyone in that game is supposed to be disposable anyway.
Helldivers was a blessing and a curse. It was a blessing because it was a great game that a lot of people loved, but it was a curse because it convinced Sony that it could just keep doing this over and over again.
Well, it's like that thing where like you sit down and you play a round of poker or play the slot machine and you get lucky that first time, and then like no matter how many times you fail immediately after, you're like, well, but that first time I'll get it. This
I'm due.
I think that's literally what's happening here.
I think you're right. Yep. All right.
Because cooler heads would probably have pivoted away from these games already.
Yeah, I agree.
And in fact, I think cooler heads did when Jade left the company.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. That's a good way to put it. All right, next up, we're going to talk about Monster Hunter Stories 3, a turn-based RPG from Capcom.
Is this out already?
What do you say?
Is this out already?
No, it's not.
Okay.
There's a big demo up.
I was going to say, did I miss this one?
And this also has a huge demo. So what was it? It was Neo 3 that had a big demo. This game has a big demo right now that anybody can download and play. So if you want to play it for yourself, please do. I played the demo all the way through, and it really does show off pretty much every element of the game. So I want to share it with you guys here today. So I said it's a spin-off of the Monster Hunter franchise. The big difference here is that instead of being an action RPG where you got into an open world and fight enemies that you just come across, this is a much more controlled turn-based RPG. The first 2 games were in some form Switch exclusives. The first one was actually not Switch, a 3DS exclusive. And then eventually it got released for other platforms. The second one was a Switch time exclusive, and eventually it was released for other platforms. This game is coming day 1 to every platform. So there's no window of exclusivity for Nintendo on this one. And consequently, this game does feel like it's aged up a little bit compared to the first 2, at least in tone and plot. The setup for this, you're seeing it. There's 2 kingdoms that have been allies for a very long time, but suddenly this crystalline blight comes to the world, and it's basically made the 2 territories start looking at each other kind of with the side eye, like wondering, like, can you help us with this? Is this your fault? So that's sort of the intrigue. You play as the prince of one of the kingdoms, and you're in this group called the Rangers. And typically the Rangers are what you're seeing here. Like, this is the protagonist's mom, the queen, right here. And typically the Rangers are scientists. They study the monsties. I know you hate that word.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe because it's aged up a bit.
Nope, no, they still use it in this. But they study these monsties, which are basically Pokemon, for lack of a better way to describe them. And they're usually the scientists in their kingdom. However, with this new issue that's popped up with this other territory, suddenly the Rangers are the ones who may actually have to get in the war and fight.
That's pretty... pulling cloth off something is not an easy
It's not.
trick. So
it's
they're
not at all.
Showing off a little bit.
Oh,
there.
This game is definitely a step above, presentation-wise, the other games in the franchise. No doubt about it. So what kind of sets off the plot in this is what you're seeing right now. They find an egg, and it hatches a Rathalos. There has not been a Rathalos in the kingdom for like 200 years or something like that.
Even though there's a Rathalos in every one of these. The Rathalos is the main
It's one of the
monster.
most common
it's
monsters.
the main monstie in all these games,
It is.
all three of these games.
Yep. Well, in this one, there hasn't been one for like 100 years. And the last time there was one, it brought all this death and
Now
destruction.
there are two of them.
Right. And that this is what sets it off, is they're like, oh my god, for the first time ever, one egg with two Rathalos. So they think that this is a sign from the gods or whatever. Now the thing is like, the cleric tells you that you can't have two. You can only have one. And so you need to kill the other one. And so the mom, the queen...
Well, that ain't happening.
The queen, I think I figured out. The queen took the second one and ran away. And you are the only one who can ride it. And so you are now the head of the Rangers because you're the one who has tamed the Rathalos and can use the Rathalos. But also it means...
I love the idea that like so you're the head of the cops because you're the only one who knows how to drive.
Pretty much. That's a good way of... Well, the other people can fly. They can't fly a Rathalos. And the Rathalos is known as like the most dangerous, lethal monster of them all or whatever. And so...
You're the guy in Avatar on the big man, the big banshee.
Yep. That's a good way to put it. And so the whole game is basically centered around you trying to keep the war from happening. And they start sending like envoys to you, like the other territory sends like this princess to work with you for a while. And of course, a big part of the plot is discovering that, you know what, those other people that we thought were terrible, turns out they really aren't all that terrible after all. And there's good messaging in this. Like, kids should probably play this game and get that messaging, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's the basic setup of the plot. There's a bunch of different layers that come into it, but that's kind of the basic setup of it.
I love that somebody would name the kingdom Masuria. It's like, what should we name our kingdom? Kind of blue.
Yeah.
You know?
The other one is called Vermeil, like the old coach of the Eagles and the Rams, Dick Vermeil.
Well, that sounds like a weird mix of like, that's like vermilion almost.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's kind of if blue.
Yeah.
It's fitting.
I think having...
And the Rathalos is red and blue. So
yeah.
they have to come together.
That's true. That's hilarious. If there's one game I think I would compare this to, other than the first two games in the series, is Pokemon Legends Arceus. Like, it has the same kind of God of War style open world where it looks like it's open world, but it's really not, but it's big enough that who cares?
It definitely looks... Scope definitely looks on a different level than the other two.
And you can go out into these open areas, you can fight creatures, you can gather crafting resources, you can steal eggs. Because, like the other two games, another big element of this is finding eggs and then taking them back to your hatchery and then hatching them. And once you hatch them, then you can breed them together and come up with new combinations.
And this is unrelated to the other, like this standalone story.
Yes, it's not continuous from the other games at all. It's its own standalone thing. And there's a new element in the Monstie breeding as well, where you can actually set them loose back out into the environment, and they will repopulate the area with that Monstie, and then they will reproduce and produce stronger versions of that monster.
Yeah, get out there and fuck, my,
Pretty much.
my young lad.
And then make me a better Monstie.
Make me a stronger Monstie.
Yep.
Maybe one day you'll be a monster.
Yeah. So I played, I don't know, like 10 hours of this, maybe a little less or something like that. So I didn't get to check out.
That is a big demo.
Yeah. So I didn't get to check out too much of the quests and things like that. But one thing I will say is I already started to figure out.
I love the idea. It's like you play one of these modern JRPGs and it's just like 10 hours. You saw a little bit of it.
Seriously, it's like
saw
not
the
even
beginning.
10% or whatever, maybe.
A Poogie riding prodigy. Thank God, finally. We needed a Poogie rider.
Well, the Poogie is one of your party members ends up getting this awesome Poogie magic attack that wrecks shop. So it actually does pay off ultimately to get the Poogies.
Does the magic give them a better name?
It does not.
Poogie? What is a Poogie?
They're pigs, basically.
Oh, they're pigs?
Yeah. They look like pigs. They're mutated or whatever. But anyway, based
Everyone
on what
else
I
rides
played...
a dinosaur or a dragon, and this guy's got to ride a pig?
Well, no. You don't ride the pig. They come running in, basically. Like it's a magic spell. And in the cinema, it's a big herd of pigs that run over the enemy or whatever. But anyway, most of the mission objectives in the early going, and this does start from the beginning of the game, were fetch quests. So I was a little nervous about the mission objectives in this. Based upon what I played, I'm hoping that changes. Having played the first two games, I'm pretty confident that it will. So you take... The big thing about this, Matt, and you know because you played the first two games, is the combat system. So it's turn-based, but it has all these insane like little nuances to it. It's not just like taking turns attacking. First of all, you have 3 kinds of attacks, and this is in the first two games. There's power, speed, and technical. And basically, it's like rock, paper, scissors. Like one is more powerful than the other, which is more powerful than the other. And it doesn't matter that much, except... if you and an enemy both target each other at the same time, it creates a head-to-head like you're seeing right now. And then whatever attack you chose between those three, that's who wins the face-off and gives that character the initiative. Also, as you're in the turn-based combat and you're choosing each attack, you can choose whether that attack is going to be one of those 3 different types. So a lot of it is like learning the enemies, having fought an enemy before, you can figure out what attacks they generally use. So I will say, it seems like they switch it up a little bit more in this one. Like, it's not always the same. Like, this enemy right here sometimes will be strength, and then next time you fight it, it will be like technical. So they do switch it up a lot more. The first 2 games, Matt, I don't know if you remember or not, but after like the first like 15 hours, you just kind of walk through the game.
Yeah, they were not super challenging.
They just weren't well balanced either, and they were made for kids, I think. But again, I think the tweaks have been made to the combat system to appeal to older players in this game.
Which somewhat makes sense because the kids who played them are older now.
You're right. I mean, this franchise is now like 10 years old.
People got to remember when they're making games that like the fans of your previous game are going to be 4 years older when this comes out.
It's true. Yep. Another element of the combat is choosing body parts to attack. That is very important because you can disable certain abilities on enemies. If they have like a cannon on their right arm, you can attack the right arm and take out their best attack. Eventually, you also get these enemies that have like crystals on them that have been taken over by the blight, and you need to attack and bust those crystals off of them before you attack the other stuff. So targeting stuff in this also more important than it was in the first 2 games, because you have those hyper-powered crystalline enemies that you need to chip down using those abilities. And there's a bunch of other stuff. There's double attacks, there's kinship attacks, where if you and someone in your party member both mount your monsties at the same time, your monstie does this crazy, awesome spectacle attack. There are... What else is there? There's also, like, supers that you can perform where everybody on the team joins together, and it does this crazy, over-the-top Final Fantasy VII-styled, like, almost like summon type attack. The battles in this will keep you on your toes and are cinematic and fun, for sure. The other thing, too, is you have abilities, which are basically your spells, but they take your stamina. And a big part of the game, in order to perform one of those big finishing attacks, you need to stagger the enemy. So you need to topple them. The way you topple them is by using your magic attacks. So while it is governed by stamina and you can't just spam them, you do need to make sure you're using a bunch of those so you can whittle down the enemy stamina meter to topple them and then ultimately perform your super on them. So there's a whole system that goes into it, and the stamina is pretty generous. You can't, only certain times does it seem like it regenerates. I'm not 100% on when and how that happens, though. And then there's also a whole elemental part in the combat system with fire, lightning, and water. And every attack you can kind of choose whether you want to imbue them with elements. And then all your spells have at least one type of elemental attachment to it. And that's a big part of it too, figuring out, which element to use against the enemies. And all of that is like fighting the enemies first to figure out what they're weak against, and then remembering that and making sure to use that against them in the future. So... and then out in the open environment, like, you ride your monstie. It's like basically your mount, and the monstie can do stuff out there. It can breathe fire. Like, one thing that they showed you is like shooting a fireball into a tree and knocking all of these things out of the tree that you can collect for crafting. And then some monsties have abilities that others don't out in the open world. Like, your Rathalos can't climb walls, but your other thing can. So you have to switch between the monsties out in the open world to climb walls and things like that.
Little badger lizard.
Yep. Yeah, they can climb a wall, but the Rathalos can't. So you have to switch, and that's a little bit annoying. It's like, man, when I get to the wall, just automatically switch to the freaking monstie that can climb the wall. Why do I have to go into a menu and do that? But anyway, and
also, can't the dragon fly?
Right, but you can't. So you do fly in certain sections of this where it's almost like pilot wings, where there are these updrafts of wind that you need to catch to make it across like the areas or whatever. But when you're just out in the open world, you can only hit like a jump button. And that's it. Right. You can't really just fly around. I know, it's, again, you have to suspend disbelief a little bit.
just up on top of, just get on top of the thing.
Yeah.
Just flip up. We'll flap.
Yeah. One hangover of the game being made for kids previously is that it's really hard to die. Like, if you lose all your hit points, you don't really die. Like, I don't know. I died like twice and they revived me both times with like no penalty or anything like that. So it does nerf it a little bit. Not that it's easy to die in this. It wasn't that difficult, but I did make a couple mistakes where I did actually die, and I didn't die. So they have nerfed it a little bit that way. And then there's like strategy with the monsters as well. Like, sometimes you don't want to kill the monster. You want to just maim it. And I know that sounds horrible. So it will limp back to its lair. Because once you get back to the lair, then you can steal its eggs that you can then use to take back to base and hatch them and breed them. And
a little bit more like the main series there.
Yeah.
Tormenting animals to destroy their next generation.
That main theme is still there, unfortunately. But that's pretty much it based upon the demo that I played. And again, I've only played, 5 to 10 hours of this roughly. But it was enough to let me know that this game is going to appeal to a wider audience than the first two games did. I think a lot of people saw the first two and were like, yeah, it looks like an RPG for kids. And they were. And this one definitely does not feel like that. So I had a good time with it. It's a gorgeous game. It basically got the full-on AAA Capcom treatment, finally. Instead of it being like this little spin-off thing that Capcom dedicates decent resources to. But, the cutscenes in this, the cinematics, way beyond what we got in the first two games, although the second game was starting to inch that way. This is, I think, what we're going to see from this franchise probably into the future. A game that's not just made for kids, but not just made for adults, but hopefully something that can appeal to everybody. And try to get people on board with Monster Hunter. Like, I do feel like this is a little bit of a Trojan horse for Capcom. Like, they want to get people hooked into this, and then have people, like you said, be like, wait a minute, I heard something about those other Monster Hunter games that has some stuff in it like this. And maybe
I think that's probably the idea.
Yeah. So,
although, for me, it's really the only Monster Hunter thing I care about playing. Because I do like these, but I don't like the main series very much.
I play the main series just because it's my job. But generally, I suffer through those. I don't enjoy them all that much.
Seems to be how the fans are treating Wilds, too.
Seriously. So. I mean, I liked the last two of these more than the mainline Monster Hunter that came out around them.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty much all I need to say about that. But again, the other thing I would say, too, is the B-roll you're seeing right now. These are all, like, rank-and-file enemies. But eventually, I do start fighting some bosses. There's, like, the first boss that you fight. And the other thing I would say, too, about body parts, like this boss in particular, it has like a pouch that inflates under its throat or whatever. And so the body parts are important against this boss because you need to deflate that pouch before you can start taking damage off of the boss proper. So you need to make sure that all your attacks are targeting his inflatable pouch until the pouch is destroyed. Then you can start focusing on other body parts to actually finish the monster off. So again, this demo is out there. You can play it. I think it's on every platform. I played this on PC just because I try to play games on my PC so I can get money out of what I invested in it. So this is probably best case scenario as far as how the game looks. This is running on my 4070 at full bore. It didn't really feel like it seemed like it taxed it all that much. My fans.
I wouldn't think the PlayStation version will look very different from this.
Yeah, my guess is they'll pretty much look the same. But again, this is Monster Hunter Stories 3. This is also coming out for Switch 2, day and date. And this game looks like it's made for PS5. But it's coming out for Switch 2 day and date with PC, PS5, and Xbox Series. And I think it's coming out on like the 13th, if I remember correctly.
Sounds right.
12th or 13th, something like that.
Somewhere in the middle of the month.
Yeah. So it's not too far away. And that interface you're seeing right there is where you're picking the body parts to attack. So you can see, you can choose the head or the torso there. And obviously I'm going to choose the head because you need to deflate the pouch there. So there you go. That's Monster Hunter Stories 3. If you've never been able to click with the Monster Hunter franchise, you don't know what it's all about, this is definitely a good little gateway to get you into the universe and kind of get the lay of the land of what it's all about. You'll meet a lot of creatures that carry over to the mainline Monster Hunter franchise. So it's a good little primer. If you want to figure out if maybe Monster Hunter is something for you, this is definitely a turn-based take that's a little more casual and I think will appeal to a wider audience. Cinetyke says, if I hear Mosty one more time.
Yeah, I hear you.
And then Ashes in the Hourglass says, I'm surprised this is coming to Xbox. I mean, Ashes, I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised when I hear anything is coming to Xbox anymore that's not coming to Game Pass. Because why? I don't understand why publishers would release games for Xbox anymore. No one's buying games on Xbox. So, I mean, if you're an Xbox owner or an Xbox fan, like any game like this, you should count your blessings. It still blows my mind, Matt, that every game that's announced is PC, PS5, and Xbox Series, and not Switch 2. Still, every third-party game, it's those three platforms and not Switch 2, except for like exceptions like this one. I have a feeling by the end of this year, the three are going to be PC, PS5, and Switch 2, and every once in a while, you're going to get an Xbox game.
Yeah, well, I think it's probably just lag from people getting dev kits late.
Yeah. Or it's just lag of people built these games for Xbox 2 years ago when they didn't realize the market was going to be completely non-existent by the time it came out.
Well, I don't think Xbox. The Switch 2 thing is because
dev kits were slow.
People didn't have dev kits and they got to make sure they can put these things on it.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. That's Monster Hunter Stories 3. All right. Next up, we're going to talk about another confounding decision by PlayStation. It was shared this week by a reliable source that PlayStation right now is considering cutting all its single-player games from PC. Now, to be fair, usually its single-player games have a pretty healthy delay from when they come out on PlayStation 5 before they finally come out on PC. Its multiplayer games, however, are basically coming out day and date on other platforms.
Yeah, you want critical mass on those.
Like Marathon coming out for PS5, PC, and Xbox, which is crazy, on day one. But the single-player games, usually there is a delay. It started out like 18 months. It's gotten much shorter over the last like year and a half or 2 years or so. Matt, why do you think PlayStation would change its stance on this after kind of creating this user base and fan base on PC?
I don't really know. Like, clearly the sales on PC are not remotely close to what they get on the PlayStation. So maybe they just hit a point where they just don't think it's worth it anymore. Because they have had some issues with the ports, and like the Horizons launched pretty rough and had to be fixed pretty hard. Like
Sony may care about that too, about it tarnishing the brand. PlayStation cares about that kind of stuff way more than most other publishers.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like Spider-Man 2 wasn't like as well received as the first one. It'd be a shame to never get Wolverine on PC because
so that's what the source is saying is like Wolverine's going to be the first one, where they're this new strategy. Whatever PlayStation is calling it is going to come into effect, and Wolverine will never be released for PC. Or if it does, like way on down the road and not within 6 months, a year, 18 months.
Yeah. Or maybe Marvel saw the mods people were putting in the Spider-Man games and were like, we're going to stop doing that.
On PC?
Because
that's actually that could be part of it.
Like
because
throwing naked Peter Parker mods in there is probably not something Marvel wants to see happen.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Or his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So that could be part of it, but a lot of these games are not Marvel games. They're, The Last of Us, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima. Generally, pretty much PlayStation's entire first-party lineup eventually was coming to PC. Yeah. And
I rebought most of it. Like, I'm happy to play them. They come out right about the time I want to play them again, and if I can play them and they look better, and like, sure.
Do you consider the PC versions of these games the definitive versions ultimately?
For the most part,
I've never played one on PC. I always play them on PS5.
I would definitely say the Spider-Mans are the definitive versions, and Returnal I would say is the definitive, and I definitely the Horizons. Forbidden West. Forbidden West looks great on both, but there is a quality difference, especially on the first Horizon, in terms of visuals that I think makes the PC version the one. And now that they fixed it, they're all great now. They're all fine now.
What do you think was Sony's objective in releasing its games for PC? Was it to make more money, or was it to turn new audiences onto its games, hoping that those people would then buy a PlayStation? I
think the goal is always more money.
Yeah. Well, the other one would eventually get you more money, I guess.
Right. But somewhat, but I think the point is like you certainly the original idea, and it lines up with the delay between them, is like you get what your sales you're going to get out of the console version, and then you might as well get extra sales out of a different market. And I guess that's not enough for them.
Have you caught wind of how these are selling? I haven't. I have not seen any sales figures.
I don't know if we have any sales figures on these things.
I think only your best guess is like how many concurrents there were on launch
all
day.
You got, really. It's very hard to say.
Yeah.
Part of it is just like, I still haven't bought Ragnarok on PC.
Okay.
Because the price doesn't go down in time. Like, there's points at which I'm going to buy this around the time the price first drops. But like, I don't know. Like, I have the first God of War. I've never gotten around to replaying it on PC, and so I don't need Ragnarok. Same thing with Last of Us. I haven't rebought Last of Us Part 2 on PC because I haven't had time to replay Last of Us 1 on PC. I did replay Spider-Man, but I still haven't bought Spider-Man 2 because I actually didn't love Spider-Man 2 as much, and like I don't want to pay full price for it.
Yeah.
But it kind of depends. Like, I would, if they were out simultaneously, I'd buy the PC version over the PlayStation version, no question, for the most part. Like, I would definitely buy the PC version of Saros over the PlayStation one if I had the option.
Yeah.
If I was going to play Marathon, I'd play it on PC.
I am curious what PlayStation's expectations were for these games, because everybody knows that like console games generally don't sell that well on PC.
Yeah, I mean, the sales are becoming more even. Like they're back in the day, like back in like the late aughts, early 2010s. Like the thought was like that you basically you're gonna sell 3 times as much on each console as you would on PC. Mm-hmm. So the PC version was sort of an afterthought. Yeah, that has become more and more on parity with each other. Like PC, both in terms of I think PC selling more and console selling less. But like, I don't know what Sony's metric for this would be, and it kind of feels like it hasn't been enough time, and they haven't done it with enough of their major releases in a timely. I don't know if you can really judge this until you release a Naughty Dog game in this system and see what happens. Like if you.
I mean, The Last of Us is on PC,
right? But it wasn't like in that era.
That's true.
It was too far after. Yeah. Like I think you need like to see what Intergalactic does. Yeah. Really. To really judge this, or maybe even Ghost of Yotei. I'd be a shame if we don't get a PC version of that, but it sounds like maybe we won't.
Matt, how much of this at all, if at all, do you think is because the next Xbox is going to be a PC, and then ultimately you could play PlayStation's exclusives on an Xbox? Do you think that has anything to do with it?
I think it might. Like, Sony is that petty.
Seriously, it really is, yeah.
I think that could be part of it.
I really think so, too.
Also, I think it might be that because Xbox has pivoted away from sort of the play everything on Game Pass thing, maybe Sony doesn't feel the pressure to put stuff on other platforms anymore. Mm-hmm. So it might be, I'd say like a combination of those two things. Is
the lack of competition.
Like the lack of competition plus putting your games technically on the competition would maybe be enough to get Sony to back off of this idea. Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what PC gamers, how they're feeling about this, if they would actually miss these games or not.
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people, I know a lot of people only played Horizon on PC.
I mean, a lot of people waited a long time to play these games. After we gush over
that's the thing is, to them, they weren't waiting because they don't own PlayStations and never are going to own PlayStations. So
I'm just saying, they listen to us gush over them and say, these are the best games of the year, and then they can't play them,
But I'll tell you, they don't care.
Yeah.
They hear that, but they're like, well, fuck.
Too bad.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, well, too bad. And then if it came to PC, they're like, yeah, I'll play that 100%. And they like it, Horizon, first Spider-Man.
I wish I could see sales numbers for these games.
I would be nice, but you're going to have to break into
That's
Sony.
That's never going to happen. Never going to share. If they were gigantic, they might share them. But then they might not. Because they may be like, well, we don't want to say that we're selling almost as many on PC as we are on PS5.
You don't need a PlayStation anymore.
It's hilarious that you'd almost be embarrassed of your success.
Yeah.
But that's really kind of what it is.
And they've been picking, obviously Astrobot is not coming to PC.
Yeah.
Because it's...
I mean, it could.
Never.
3D platformers on PC, though, they're kind of oil and water.
Well, more like it's a giant celebration of PlayStation.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to put it on PC, really. The audience is not going to care about any of that stuff that they're referencing.
Yeah.
So it's just Sony being Sony, I guess.
It really does feel like it. But also, conceited Sony.
Yeah.
Full of hubris Sony.
Somewhat.
And at this point...
It's not really going to hurt them.
No.
Yeah, usually arrogant Sony is doing something that's going to shoot them in the foot, like that live service thing.
Yeah.
This just feels like they're just going to play it conservative, and they don't need to put themselves out there because Xbox has sort of thrown in the towel. So that's that.
I think the other tough thing is it's very hard for PlayStation to quantify.
I think the way we'll know this one way or the other is if Xbox does back off of releasing the mini PC, the next if all of a sudden Sony stuff is still coming to PC after that, I bet that's a sign.
But it could be tough for PlayStation to quantify the Trojan horse thing. How many people are buying PlayStations because they tried a game on PC? There's no way for PlayStation to have that data. No, so there's going to be nothing positive convincing it to keep releasing games on PC.
Well, and anecdotally, there is not a whole lot of crossover there. People who don't own consoles but just game on PC are never going to be swayed. If you haven't done it by now, you're not going to tempt them into a PlayStation by now.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. They want one platform. They want the PC. They're not going to buy a console. Maybe they can't even have a console in the main room because the rest of the family uses it too much or whatever. From anecdotely, all the main PC gamers I know do not really care that they miss out on console stuff.
Interesting.
And the only break in that has been some of them bought a Switch.
To play Nintendo's first party stuff?
To play handheld, basically. In the pre-Steam Deck era, they did that. And they kind of like the Nintendo stuff, and so that works out for them. because a lot of it is just like, PC gamers on one hand, you've got kind of the PC snob stereotype, but on the other hand, a lot of PC gamers have those because they're basically not allowed to use the TV for that because the rest of the family watches TV all the time.
Right.
So it's not a surprise to me that one of the things that broke through on that demographic is a handheld, because you don't need the TV for it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the Steam Deck, even more so.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe it's, I mean, I am very tempted to say it's Sony being petty, and maybe it's not super petty. Maybe like being able to play a Sony exclusive on an Xbox, no matter how technical and branding slappy it is kind of
like
weird. Yeah, it is kind of a weird thing to have to like admit to your shareholders, probably, right? So I mean, I kind of make laying that groundwork does kind of make some sense, I guess. And obviously they haven't said it publicly. This is just
it never will.
This is just Schreier, reporting what he knows. That was him, right?
It was, yeah.
But he's usually he doesn't shoot his mouth off.
I don't think he's ever been wrong.
Not in any appreciable way that I can remember.
I can't think of a big story that he broke that he's wrong.
Yeah, he wouldn't say something like that if he wasn't sure of it.
Nope. Yeah. And so I'm wondering how the PC players, we have a lot of PC fans on SIFTD, so I'm curious what you guys think about it. Do you guys care that PlayStation games could be going away from PC? Erebus says...
I'm curious. I wonder if they delist stuff.
Take it off, so you can't even buy it. Maybe it's a good idea to go buy all that
stuff.
You want me to buy?
Well, we would usually have warning of that.
That's true.
But like, if you want me to buy Ragnarok for full price, I'll do that. Like, you'll get me there, I guess.
Erebus says, as a PC gamer, I'm pretty bummed Wolverine isn't coming. I could see that. Yeah.
I mean, I would say that the Insomniac games, like the definitive versions, are the PC versions. Certainly, Spider-Man is the definitive version of the PC versions. It is kind of a shame that we'll never see a PC version of Ratchet and Clank. I'd like to see what that would look like.
Time Zimmy over on YouTube says, I've got a good gaming PC. I'm not going to invest half of that again and a PS5 for the handful of Sony titles. If the Sony titles come, I'll play them. If not, there's other options.
Yeah, it's kind of the strength of PlayStation too, because it's like it doesn't, people don't really care what they whether something's exclusive or not, as long as it's what they're playing on their platform.
Yep.
But because of that lack of exclusivity, the PC is just as good in that regard. So it is kind of a double up unless you really value PlayStation exclusives, which I do, which is one of the main reasons I have a PlayStation and wouldn't consider not buying like a PlayStation 6. But this generation sure is testing that.
It really is. It's testing a lot of stuff, honestly, for sure. Cinetike says, I want PlayStation games on PC, but Ghost of Yote would be the first new game I wanted to play on PC and that I haven't already played on a PS5. Well, I mean, if you have I'm asking for like people who only have a PC here, not people who already have a PS5.
Well, it doesn't sound like he's... But if he hasn't played it, and that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I would buy Yote again on PC, no question.
Ruthina77, do they play these PS5 games on a mouse and keyboard or a controller? That's another question, too.
A bit of both, but I play them on controller. Like, I wouldn't want to try it. But I certainly have seen people... I mean, people play Batman Arkham City with a mouse and keyboard. It's crazy.
That's crazy. The only PC games I play anymore with a mouse and keyboard are, like, strategy games. Like Civ. I play shooters with controllers now. On PC,
I played Clover Pit. Because
that makes sense.
Why not? You're just clicking the slot machine, really. In general, I even like first-person shooters. I use the controller for. My Elite 2 broke.
Did it?
Yeah, it's only like 8 months old. I was playing Vampire Survivors of all things. I decided to start playing that again, and the left stick has started to just stick in one direction.
Wow.
And I can't, I think I have to pry it. I had to switch to a DualSense.
Dang.
I think I had to pry, and because you can't get Elites anymore.
I always felt like those things were built
They're all
like tanks.
gone.
Really? They don't sell them anymore?
The only ones I could find anywhere are the weird white and black skunk looking ones. And if I ordered one on Amazon, it wouldn't arrive till April.
What?
They have them, but they have them on the Microsoft store. But it's only the white and black one. And it's like $110.
What the hell?
It's only the bare bones one that doesn't come with the extra stuff. And it's like a 3-week shipping thing.
Wow.
Like something's up with the Elite controllers.
ETH Demon says, nah, enough other games to play on PC. He doesn't need the PlayStation games. Erebus follows up with, they should have done this at the start of a gen. I've played all PS5 games on PC so far. To pull up the ladder when only exclusives you've got left is Wolverine and Intergalactic isn't going to make me buy a machine. Yeah?
Yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Silk Snake says maybe the PC sales weren't good enough to justify the work to port to PC. I mean, that's
also possible.
That seems like a part of it.
I mean, it feels like there's probably like 4 or 5 things coming together to sort of inform this decision.
Builds Above also says, or even play a PlayStation game on a Steam machine, which is a good point because that's really like a console. Like it doesn't have Xbox on it, but it's basically the new Xbox.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's like
Steam's getting a cut of that every time.
It's a different console that's under your TV that's playing PlayStation games.
Remember that Sony certainly is aware of the getting a cut of things because they own the Blu-ray stuff. So it's like that's their thing. We don't do that. They pay us, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like there is definitely a corporate like arrogance to that. But also like a lot. I mean, really, the decision doesn't affect them so much. It's more of us sitting here being like, man, I wanted Wolverine on PC one day.
Andy T. Monahan says higher development costs lead to requiring higher sales figures to cover that additional cost. You'd think they want the extra revenue unless they're just trying to intentionally turn people off of single-player games. Yeah, like the budgets for these PC ports are pretty low compared to like building a game from scratch.
I would imagine that they
10 million.
I would imagine even the lower selling PC ports are still profitable. Against the cost of porting them.
Like I don't think they're selling 3-4 million units or anything like that, but they probably some of the better ones probably get close to 1 million. I would guess.
No, I think a couple of them have done more than that.
You think so?
I think so. I thought we got some leaks on Horizon that basically said they were doing.
But yeah, I think. Really, when it comes down to it, money is definitely the issue. It's what angle Sony is coming at to try to make more money that we're trying to figure out here for why it would stop doing this. So my guess is most of those games are profitable, though.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn sold over 2 million copies on PC.
Okay, that's good, man.
God of War and Days Gone sold a little under 1 million.
That's great. That's more than enough to rationalize getting Nixes to do a port. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's $100 million, basically. There's no way it costs anywhere near that for Nixes to do each port. No. So, I don't know. We'll see. Again, this is coming from Jason Schreier, who is in the know. He's never reported anything that didn't end up coming true. So, it's a little discouraging, I think, if you're a PC gamer. But I'm honestly surprised that more of you aren't angry about this, that you're just like, whatever, that's cool. I guess because you didn't have it for so long that it's like you don't know what you got till it's gone kind of thing. I don't know.
Spider-Man 1 reported to have sold over 1.5 million on PC.
That's plenty.
And Spider-Man 2 sold around 700,000. That's from 3 months ago.
That's plenty.
It sold 16 million copies on PS5.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what PlayStation's looking at. It's like, wait, we sold 16 million on our console and only 1 million on this other thing?
I can see, like, to some degree, I can see some of the bean counters being like, it's almost better not to have that number on your report to the shareholders.
Because they also look at it like the installed base for PC is
like everybody.
300, like 400 million units or whatever. I don't even know how many. Like, what is the installed base on PC?
I don't think there's a way to...
I can't, it's the number, I can't even fathom it. It's a lot, that's for sure. Silkshake says the controller is under guarantee in Ireland for 7 years, so maybe you should look into it. Maybe they'll replace it for free.
Yeah, I'll email them.
Yeah,
we'll see.
All right.
But it's like I thought it was like something was stuck. Like you can literally see the edge of the the underside of the stick housing like coming. I can see inside the controller when it's tilted over. But it's it's supposed to spring back to the middle. It just doesn't do it anymore.
Okay.
So I switched back to my purple DualSense, and it feels weird, but it works.
I love the DualSense. It's my favorite controller.
I prefer the asymmetric stick.
I could get
but
that.
But the Elite controllers just do not last.
I'm surprised. Because they feel like they're built like
this
a
is
tank.
my second Elite 2.
That's crazy.
And I went through 2 Elite 1s on the Xbox and the PC. I mean, mostly I just wore them down. Like the Elite 1s lasted, but the Elite 2s like.
They get better, but
on Reddit, somebody said the Elite 2 is the best controller you'll have for 6 months, and it's like that seems to be about correct.
That's funny. All right, up next, we're going to stay in Sony land, in PlayStation land, but really, in 2026, that just means we're staying in video game land, because at this point, PlayStation's kind of the only game in town, and we got some other information to follow up on a story that we tackled in last week's GameFace, where we talked about how PlayStation shut down Blue Point Games, even though it had already done a remake of Demon's Souls, and everybody on the planet was begging for a remake of Bloodborne. Well, this week, why do you think this news came out, Matt?
Didn't someone just say it? Like, I thought someone just said it on a podcast or something.
It was on a podcast, but I'm just curious why you think the information got out there about this.
I thought it was just part of the conversation they were having.
Well, I think Bluepoint got dragged, and then PlayStation got dragged.
Right.
Over killing Bluepoint.
Because like there was something about Bluepoint having like pitched the Bloodborne remake, and Sony said no, and then someone on the podcast was like, no, From's the one who said no to that. Yeah. My guess is that they want to do it themselves. Because I have heard that they are not super fans of the Demon's Souls remake.
That's crazy.
Well, they changed a lot of things in that some of the fans don't like it either.
Huh.
Like it's not a super uncommon opinion.
I had not heard that.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean,
you got to be pretty well embedded in the From fandom to know that, I would say. It's not super common outside of those circles, but no, the Demon's Souls remake gets a pretty fair amount of heat from the hardcore From fans.
I thought it was great.
So did I, but they don't like it all that much.
Dang.
From what I've seen.
So what was the story with From? It was unhappy with what happened, and that was it?
I don't know. I'm not super clear on it, and I don't know how true any of it is because it's all just chatter, basically. Yeah. But basically, from what I understood, the remake kind of surprised them. Like they weren't consulted the way they wanted to be, or something like that.
Interesting.
Also, like even if they were, like there's a lot of changes to the art style and some of the visual tone and a lot of that stuff in that game. I guess I understand if you were the one who made the original, like you have opinions about what point
for
did
sure.
with it.
I totally understand that. Yeah.
But I would argue
it's your baby.
I would argue that the game, what you play itself, is pretty unchanged.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the visual look is pretty different.
Well, Demon's Souls looked like ass when it
did. It did. Like I don't have an issue with the way the remake looks. I think it looks great. I think it's actually still probably one of the best looking games. Period.
Yeah, for PS5. Still
for anything. I would say. Like they did an amazing job.
I agree. That's why we're so shocked that like they wouldn't have them do Bloodborne. Do you think maybe the bigger issue here is that From Software wants to do it itself?
Yeah, probably.
That's what it feels like to me.
That I would think that's what they want, especially after, Demon's Souls. I mean, even if you didn't have a problem with the Demon's Souls remake, it feels like, okay, are you just going to let Bluepoint become the company that does all your games correctly the second time, sort of thing?
Right.
Like it's like now because there is a feeling in some of the From fandom that like they don't like the remake, but a lot of people don't agree with that. And like I think if you ask like just sort of the general people who played it, a lot of people would say that the definitive edition of Demon's Souls is that remake.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I would say that.
And would then the definitive edition of Bloodborne be their remake as well, if only because it runs at 60 frames per second and fixes the frame pacing problem?
Right.
And maybe From was like, we don't want that to be the legacy.
Because what is From working on right now?
But when the hell would From ever get that done?
Right.
When would they actually do that?
Yeah, because they're working on the Dusk Brothers or whatever for Switch.
I don't remember. Dust Bloods or whatever.
Bloods, yeah. I'm mixing up Dust Brothers, music producers.
Yeah, I was.
That's hilarious.
Dust Brothers, the Chemical Bloods.
Because the Chemical Brothers were called the Dust Brothers first, but then there were those other producers who were like, no, you can't do that. And they changed to the Chemical Brothers. Yeah. Anyway, crazy tangent.
Change your drug reference name.
I don't know how I got to Chemical Brothers talking about From Software's video games, but I do think that it probably is From Software's like, we're going to do that. Like, we're not going to let somebody else do it. We're going to do it. I just don't know when that's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
Because you figure they're probably working on Elden Ring 2 right now.
I'll tell you what, man. Like, if you want to launch the PlayStation 6 with that, that'll sell you some consoles.
Oh my gosh, it will bring the rafters down. Or a sequel, Bloodborne 2.
I think redo it.
Yeah,
I think the fandom would prefer a Demon's Souls quality remake of
more than a sequel
of Bloodborne by From. 100%.
Interesting.
Like you would get sales of that console because that's a market that you wouldn't hit with the other kind of games you'd have at launch.
Yeah.
Like that would be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I agree.
And it would go a long way to maybe holding out an olive branch for biffing this generation in terms of the single player stuff.
Well, I think ultimately we probably owe Sony an apology because we railed on them last week in the show over this when we didn't have the whole story.
I'm still going to rail on them for shutting Bluepoint down. Bloodborne remake or no Bloodborne
remake.
Right. Like
because
we
brought up other salient points about all these other properties that are lying there that Bluepoint could have worked on. So some of our criticism is still valid.
And like EA is about to get shut down and probably sell off all its IPs in some kind of fire sale. So like you could probably get some cheap stuff there and have Bluepoint do you something cool with those.
Like, yeah. I mean, no matter what, getting rid of Bluepoint was stupid.
Yeah.
But to be fair, part of our discussion on that was that Sony had made the decision. As it turns out, it was From Software, and I do wonder now how the From Software fans manage that. How do they wrangle that mentally?
So far, they aren't really, from what I've seen.
They're melting down.
They're having a hard time. Sort of. Well, I guess there's a reason. You just wanted to do. I don't know. I mean, I get it. Like their big project they were pitching got rejected because From shut it down. But it's like I don't think the reaction was like, well, From said they don't want to do the Bloodborne remake, so we're gonna fire all of you. You find them something else to do.
Yeah.
What the?
And
what
a studio
the
like
fuck?
that can handle almost anything.
Anything. Like
Yep.
they're. I mean, they're basically hired guns to some degree for internal Sony stuff, and they knock it out of the park every damn time.
Yep. All right, it's time to move on. Next, we're going to talk about something that leaked out, unfortunately, about Sony Santa Monica's next game. And once again, Matt, it was a LinkedIn profile that gave it up. And
y'all got to make it clearer to each other what's secret and what isn't.
I don't understand how so much stuff keeps getting leaked on LinkedIn. Like, how do these people not know that they shouldn't do this? And like, you would figure they signed NDAs.
There's a lot of people that, well, sometimes, but a lot of people that like work on these things, especially in a freelance or tangential way, don't understand how secretive the game industry is.
Because
Because
they don't
like,
get it. Yeah.
It's like because it's the opposite of the movie industry, whereas as soon as something goes into production, you announce it.
Yep.
You know, you want everyone to know that this thing's coming, so 2 years later they'll all be excited about
There's
it.
no playing coy.
There's very little of that in the movie industry and the TV and all that.
Yeah,
everybody knows. In part because you're shooting stuff and people see it and they take pictures, so you want to get ahead of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Nintendo? Nintendo learned that lesson with the Zelda,
film,
movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just a kind of a different world in that regard. Because
Yeah.
a lot of times, like I don't know what this leak came from, but a lot of times the leak comes from people who are like working on like audio or like things that are not internal like programming and stuff. You know, people who wouldn't be part of the game industry in the world that would understand that like how secretive this stuff is.
Yeah.
But like I said, you need to make that clear to these people that like this is a secret.
I mean, usually you would have people sign NDAs.
Usually, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, Sony Santa Monica could have dropped the ball here.
Somebody, who knows? Somebody doesn't tell you the right thing, or they only worked on a little bit thing, or they did the interview process and did a little bit, and they just throw it in there, like, or they don't understand. And again, sometimes, like, I know, like, the Blade game got announced so early to get people interested to come work for them.
Right.
So, like,
recruiting tool.
Yeah. So sometimes you're putting that in your resume because you want people to know that you worked on this high-profile thing. Or that you didn't work on God of War Ragnarok. It's like, oh,
Right.
I'm not actually, we didn't work on the thing you think that I'd be working on
Right.
at Sony Santa Monica,
Right.
unannounced project.
Well, here's the story. The story is that this person on LinkedIn shared that he was working on a God of War spin-off game at Sony Santa Monica that stars Kratos' wife, Faye. It doesn't star Kratos. And we just talked last week about how, we're friends with Corey Barlog on Facebook, and we definitely felt something different was coming. We didn't know exactly what that was, but we thought it was going to not just be a traditional God of War game, and as it turns out, that is going to be the case. Matt, how do you think this is going to go over with the fans?
I mean, probably, I think the normal people will be fine with it, and the weirdos will freak out that it's woke or whatever.
That it's a woman,
because
and you're making...
I mean, there are people mad that, like, Grace's boobs aren't big enough
No.
in Resident Evil, and that's woke. People are out of their fucking
Because they think
minds,
every
man.
woman has gigantic boobs.
Or that every woman in a video game should be designed to turn on like a porn addicted freak. Basically,
that sucks.
Yep.
And I'm guessing the same thing will happen here.
the first mods on Resident Evil were all like make Grace look like a porn star.
Oh,
basically.
really?
Oh yeah, instantly. Now, to be fair, a lot of them can also be applied to Leon.
Yeah.
Leon can also wear the bunny suit. So.
That's pretty funny. I agree with you. I think fans in this franchise in particular feels like it has a fan base that's a little bit more that way. And I mean, it felt like there was a little bit of pushback from the 2D version of this franchise. What's going to happen when it's a female that you're playing throughout the entire game?
Presumably you will. I would assume that something made by Sony Santa Monica is going to look and feel more like.
Oh yeah, it'll look like
more
this.
like God of War. I mean, it is a more. I mean, it's not like I dislike Kratos, but I'm kind of over it.
I'm done with it.
Like, I get it. Like, we did
like
it.
He's done the full arc.
We're there.
And he was great. Like, watching him turn into a more sensitive, understanding person through Ragnarok, like, that's it. He's done. His redemption story's done.
Yeah,
like,
he's good. I'm happy with where it lays.
Yeah, seriously.
So kind of going into his, I would assume this would be some kind of a prequel, or possibly, I don't know. She is really dead, right?
I think so.
Yeah, like,
So it's got to be a prequel of some sort?
Yeah, a prequel of maybe how I met your sad father kind of thing.
I mean, I honestly thought if they were going to stay in the God of War universe for Sony Santa Monica's next game, I thought Atreus would be the star.
That would be the natural thing, or like going to a different pantheon. And I know there's been a lot of like talk that like there's like Egyptian concept art floating around the Sony Santa Monica office. Maybe she's the one who's going to kill the Egyptian gods. And I'm kind of down with that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm down with Faye. Period. Yeah. I'm totally cool with a game where she's the lead protagonist. I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah, I like the games because of how Sony Santa Monica presents them and their sensibilities and how the gameplay works. I don't really care who I'm.
Not anymore.
I didn't actually enjoy playing as Atreus all that much.
You didn't?
He wasn't as I like the power of Kratos, but I feel like Faye is just as strong.
Oh yeah,
in terms.
I liked how he supplemented Kratos. I didn't like when I played as him by himself.
Yeah,
but I liked when he was a sidekick and I could use him to shoot his arrows and stuff.
But when I had to play only as Atreus, I thought it dragged.
I agree. A little bit. Yeah, I did not. It didn't resonate with me. But that's not going to happen apparently, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to watch the reaction to this. This news is flying under the radar right now. For whatever reason, it's not being reported a lot of places, and no one's really talking about it.
Well, it sounds like Nate the Hate was sort of like speculating to some degree on the idea of what it was actually being. It's just that Faye's name popped up in the thing.
Yeah.
So, but it's a decent assumption.
I mean, it's literally from LinkedIn. The guy wrote the stuff. The guy who used to work there. Like, there's really not much to interpret or anything like that. Like, he said it in his post, like, which was really dumb, but he did. So, I mean, is there any chance that would not be true? That they changed the game? Because I think he hasn't worked there for like 2 years now.
I mean, I don't know. Probably not. Like,
yeah.
And
it's another Titanic situation.
Vincent notes that the Blue Point's canceled game as a service God of War game was starring Atreus.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was?
So that was
probably... Well, it was a multiplayer game.
Yeah, but Atreus was, I guess, going to be a sequel, technically, dealing with whatever Atreus was doing in that era, and they found a way to involve a bunch of other people somehow.
That was definitely doomed to fail, for sure, without a doubt. But it'll be interesting to see how when this starts catching on and people start talking about it a lot more, it'll be interesting to see the fan reaction to this, because people are definitely passionate about God of War, and some people weren't around when the first 3 games came out like we were, and haven't burnt out on the character yet.
Well, they'll all be too mad about the TV show to really notice, I guess.
Maybe. But anyway... Big revelation here. Sony Santa Monica's next game does not star Kratos. It is a God of War game, though, which to me is all that really matters. But in the next 6 months or so, my guess is this will probably be announced at Naughty 3 around that time period here in a few months. So we'll find out then.
And I'll be
people
stunned
know for sure.
If this is not going to have Kratos. I mean...
He'll be in there somehow.
It feels like the fact that this would be coming out around the same time as the remasters of the old game is like, okay, like here we're gonna see how the bridge between the original, the old games and the new one, and how Kratos got his groove on. I guess how he dragged himself off the mountain after being cut in half by Zeus.
Right.
Found his way to Norway.
Well, that's the latest on the next mainline God of War from Sony Santa Monica. I know it may not be what... And look, I don't want to pigeonhole everybody into a group. I don't want to say that just because you're not interested in this means that you're a chud or whatever. Like,
no.
Some people may not like this for other reasons.
You got to be not interested in for very specific reasons for that.
Yeah.
Look, maybe you're just done with the God of War. Maybe you don't care what... I mean...
Maybe you still like Kratos and you just want to have another game with Kratos. Like,
I think Kratos will be in it. I would imagine we wouldn't play it, but I bet you'll see Kratos in the between the trilogies. No, I mean it's not a trilogy, the second one, but between the versions thing. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but or maybe you just maybe the axe is the whole thing for you, and if you're not throwing and pulling the axe back,
which does feel damn good.
Yeah, I mean I understand that. Yeah, but I'm sure they'll come up with something as compelling for her to do.
Yeah.
In terms of base combat, and I adjusted having the Blades of Chaos back just fine.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily need to be that.
Yeah, it's true.
Just got to feel good.
Yeah,
and give me that world to like poke through and explore and have that concrete weird that feeling of like being grounded. In a place that those games have.
Absolutely. And I think that will never change from Sony Santa Monica without a doubt. All right, our last topic for this week's episode is a short one, but something I thought we should get on the radar for everybody, and that is basically a new rock band / Guitar Hero is on the way. And it is a game called...
Wait. Which is it?
it's Rock Band.
Okay.
So it does have 4 instruments in it, and it is a game called Stage Tour. Now, this is made by the new Red Octane. You may remember Red Octane. It was around during the original Guitar Hero. It was mostly known for making the guitars.
They made the guitars, and I think they were involved in publishing early on or something.
Yep. And Red Octane has been brought back to life for this game. Now, I'll say this, too. This,
I mean, it's kind of good news because all my guitars don't work anymore, so...
Mm-hmm. They put out a new guitar for Fortnite.
Yeah.
And that guitar will work in this. Now, this game looks awful. I mean, the Guitar Hero Rock Band games always had kind of their own art style and always looked a little weird.
This lacks the fluidity.
It just looks terrible.
Of Rock Band.
It just looks so
also,
bad.
Harmonix took the time to like the drummer was actually playing the song.
Right.
You know, that's not really
There's detail
here.
in it. And that's not happening here, for sure. Even the guitar players, they would try to mock, the frets.
Now, to be fair, no one's looking at that when they're playing the game.
You're just looking at the track notes.
Yeah, you're looking at the notes and you're playing the game. It's all background noise.
Is this a good idea, Matt, to bring this back?
I don't know. I'll probably play it.
Yeah.
I do like it. And I keep thinking about hooking up the old stuff, but God, it's a pain.
It's such work. And I know what's going to happen is I'll pull everything out, and I'll be missing one little dongle or something.
And you'll go on try to find it's like $200.
And I'll just put it all back in the closet.
And you won't remember where your library... And like, wait, can I transfer the stuff from the Xbox One to the Xbox 3? Yeah.
Do I need to get out my old Xbox 360? Because one thing I've realized, Matt, is I did not transfer stuff from my Xbox 360 into the cloud.
I did transfer everything I could to the Xbox One.
I did not.
But I don't know how much of that translates to like the Rock Band 4, and then like the Rock Band 4 can't use the keyboard, which I really like. It all kind of unraveled at some point.
It doesn't feel like the revival of this in the biggest video game in the world, Fortnite, did anything. And so launching your own game as dependent upon that 100% does not seem like
you're leaning real hard on people for nostalgia for about 20 years back, which is about the right target.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I think the main problem is that you're going to be trying to sell people these fairly expensive plastic guitars in a time where people aren't going to be able to afford luxuries.
That's
like
another
that.
good point, actually.
Especially because these things, that I have thought about that Fortnite guitar, but it's just a little more than I want to spend on that. Mm-hmm. And this is because the guitars back in the day were not that, like $50.
Yep.
And now they're like $120.
Yeah. And this actually is going to have,
but like, come on.
They actually are saying that this guitar is new. This is not the same guitar that was released for Fortnite.
You get one guitar.
That one guitar just blew him away. But anyway, they also said that there's dynamic charting, that the song charts are designed to be played across all those different instrument roles with specific separate parts for lead, bass, and drums. And they said in addition...
Good.
That's a good idea.
Yes. They're also music, I hope.
Yeah, one would hope. And they also said in addition to the plastic instruments, the game will also support keyboards and standard game controllers.
Interesting.
So I guess can you use the old keyboard as long as it's USB?
No, I think they mean like Type-Y keyboards.
Oh, gotcha. Interesting. For PC, I guess.
Yeah.
So you could play the music and rhythm. Have you ever watched people play music and rhythm games on a keyboard?
Oh, yeah.
It's mind-blowing how good they are at it. So anyway, whether you want it or not, Guitar Hero Rock, because the last Guitar Hero was also a full band thing, so now they're kind of the same. But
by 4, I think they were full band.
Yep. Yeah. So whether you want it or not, Rock Band Guitar Hero is coming back. Matt, to your point, I do get nostalgic for it, but I don't think I could call a bunch of people and get people to come over and play it anymore.
I think I could.
You think you could?
I've thought about it.
I mean, I'd come over. So there's 2.
I almost did it for my birthday.
Really?
I was thinking about I should
set that
all up and just see who plays.
See what happens. Yeah.
But now I think I could. I think with our group, that for about 3 years, every party was a Rock Band.
It was. Like I think if we had another X-Play reunion, people would play.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I will probably try to do that at some point in the next year to try to hook everything back up. Because the other downside of this is, I have hundreds of songs on Rock Band.
Me too. Like all
hundreds.
Of them. Yeah.
And like losing that library it
hurts.
Like,
I hear you. Don't want to build it all over again. Before we go on to name that game tune, let's check in with you guys one last time. Looks like you guys are interested in this. Vincent says the last Guitar Hero was that live, it was called Guitar Hero Live, and it had it was connected to the internet, and all the songs would just kind of flow into the game. That was the last gasp of Guitar Hero. This is for Vidya Game says, if you want a guitar, check Woot when they have game sales. I think they have CRKD ones for around $70 last week. Thank you. Silksnake says you can use all your old instruments in Fortnite. Okay, that's good too, as long as they're USB. Because some of them were proprietary and only worked with Xbox 360 or whatever. But yeah, anything that's USB should work. Zed Saber says this is the first time that Matt is revealing he can play the piano.
I cannot play the
piano.
piano.
I'm like, wait a minute, when did you do that? I'm like, I must have missed part of our conversation. Silksnake says Fortnite Festival was huge. I have not heard anyone say a word about it since that all launched.
We're not in the right circles for that.
Yeah, you're probably right. Erebus says, since the last one came out that I played on Xbox 360, I've had a child and he's now 10. So I am so ready for a new one. That makes sense. Now you're playing it with your kids. That's kind of awesome, actually. And they will love it, I think. Even if you just give them the mic and just let them sing like it's karaoke, they'll probably love it. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, the concept of the game is universally appealing to anyone who can get their hands on it, I think.
Yeah.
I think it really just comes down to, is this the time to launch something heavily peripheral driven?
With the extra expense.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. All right. That's it for all our topics for GameFace episode 470, which means that there is just one thing left to do. That's right. It's time for Name That Game Tune, brought to you by Soundwizardry.com, the absolute wizards of audio, game audio, film, TV, podcasts, whatever you're working on that's got sound coming out of it. Soundwizardry.com can help. They work on Game of the Year winners, Game of the Year contenders. They're the masters of game audio. I'm telling you right now, no matter how good you think your sound team is, it's not good enough when you have Sound Wizardry out there ready to take the work. Hit them up at soundwizardry.com. We play this fun little game because of Sound Wizardry called Name That Game Tune. I play 5 samples, audio samples, from a video game, and you try to guess the name of that game before this freaking genius right here, because he's just been killing it. You have 3 wins this year, Matt, and our fans have 2. So you are leading everybody at this point. So anyway, you have to name the game before this guy. We used to have a bunch of rules for this, but now it's pretty simple. The chat goes into slow mode. You can't spam the chat, and that's pretty much it. If you've won already, you can keep playing. You can play all year long, and at the end of the year, we'll add it up, and whoever has the most wins at the end of the year will be crowned the champion of Name That Game Tune for 2026.
Vince is right. Is that the most topics we've had in, years?
In a while.
8 topics in a show?
Yeah, because our reviews didn't last as long, because I talked about Marathon, you hadn't played it. I talked about Monster Hunter Stories 3, you hadn't played it. So usually if you have played a game, our discussions go a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a lot of topics into this week's show. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. All right, are you ready to play Name That Game Tune?
Yeah.
Are you awesome people ready to play Name That Game Tune?
I could stand to be a little louder.
Okay. I noticed in last week's show it was so loud that we had a horrible echo throughout the whole show.
I'll lean back.
Okay, that'll help actually. All right, I bumped you up a little bit there. All right, here we go. And everybody on YouTube, you guys were awesome this week, by the way. I just want to say you guys were way more engaged than I think we've ever had YouTube engaged. So thank you guys very much for participating. Just like on Twitch, you guys will make the show better by being a part of the show. So thank you. But here's the thing. If you want to play that, Name That Game Tune, you do have to jump over to twitch.tv/SIFTDgames so you can get in on it. All right. Matt's ready. Y'all are ready. I'm ready. Here's the first sample for Name That Game Tune in 3, 2, 1. I'm not even looking at Matt. I'm not going to make eye contact with him. I'm not talking to him. Rally X, no. Contra, no. Road Rash, no. Pole Position, no. River Raid, no.
Demons and Diamonds.
Not Demons and Diamonds. F-Zero, no. Asteroid, no. Galaga, no.
No.
River Raid, no. Pit Stop, no. Not Galaga. Double Dragon, no. Skitchin, no. High Guard, no. Maybe we'll do that next week, and we'll play taps while we play it. Bump and Jump, no. Robotron 2084, no. Commander Keen, no. Wipeout, nope. We got it. Too Quick Capri. It is Yar's Revenge. Wow, we have a winner. That is freaking awesome.
I've never really played Yar's Revenge.
Oh, really?
It's one of my Atari 2600 blind spots.
Somebody last week guessed it like 3 times or whatever, and I was like, all right. I'm like, I'm going to use it for next week and see if that person actually gets it or not.
I knew it was Atari 2600, but I didn't know. I don't know Yar's Revenge.
Yeah. So, Too Quick Capri, were you the one who put Yar's Revenge in the chat last week? Are you the one that was doing it? I can't remember who it was, but I know somebody guessed it like 3 times. And so that put it into my mind. And then this week when I went to do it, I was like, let's choose Yar's Revenge and see if they'll remember or not. But regardless of whether it was you or not, congratulations to Quick Capri. You are added to the leaderboard. You are in first place, tied with 2 other users, 2 other fans right now. All 3 of you have 1 win, while Matt has 3 on his own. I do have a feeling at the end of the year, you're probably going to be technically the champ of this, but we'll see how it goes. Yep. Congratulations to Quick Capri. I'll add you to the board. As the board gets a little more data on it, we'll start showing the board before we compete. So you guys can get excited and be like, oh man, I need this. I'm just 1 behind or whatever. But right now, the leaderboard is not compelling enough to show you guys before we do it. So that's going to do it for GameFace episode 470 right here on Sifted at sifted.net. A final reminder that we're supported 100%, pretty much, at patreon.com/sifted. That's SIFTD. For just $5 a month, you get all our content early. You get this show several days early. You get Pactor Factor a week early. If you don't have any money and you can't help us that way, I totally get it. But you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can help us out by connecting that account with your Twitch account and helping us out with Twitch Prime. That gives us a free $2.50 every month. And you do have to re-up it every month, and it is a pain in the butt. But if you come back here and do it live on the show, we will thank you personally for doing it, which is awesome. And if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't already connected your accounts, go down in the description below, and there's very simple step-by-step instructions. It literally takes like 1.5 minutes to connect your accounts, and then every month to give us that $2.50, it's 3 clicks, and that's it. All you got to do is go to twitch.tv/siftedgames and just click the drop-down box there and choose at the bottom, free sub with Prime. And if you do that, you also get Pactor Factor day and date with our patrons at twitch.tv/siftedgames. You get it a week early, like everybody else who's giving us money. So that's a nice little incentive there. And then if you don't have Amazon Prime, you can still help us out. Like the show, ring the bell, leave a comment on the show, share the show on social media. All that stuff matters. It makes a difference for us and can really help us. We'd appreciate it very, very much. Let's see, next week, we got Game of the Year contender, Pokemon Pokopia, which I never would dream I'd ever say that sentence.
I'm really hoping I wasn't going to have to play that.
But, I mean, sounds like it might be awesome, so, yeah. We'll see. So anyway, we'll have another awesome show for you guys next week. That's just what we do here on GameFace. A big thanks to everybody in chat who showed up. You guys make the show better every week. We'll see you next Tuesday right here at twitch.tv/siftedgames and youtube.com/siftedgames. Until then, have yourselves an awesome week filled with awesome games. GameFace is up and out.